Yeah, that's coming right here, Paul. That is the weather. It's bringing in a cold front, supposedly.
Yep.
Here, Paul, that is the weather.
Live.
Cold front, supposedly.
It goes.
Okay, there we go. We are live, live, live here on Wednesday nights with those guys.
How you been, Lawrence?
I'm good, man. How are you, Paul? Live, live, live.
I'm good.
You're good? Okay. All right. Somebody.
Well, I'm okay. I don't know if I'm good or not, but.
Well, what do you mean? What's going on? What's happening? Share
Well,
with your fellow Tony's.
Oh, did you hear that one?
Yeah.
That was close.
That's the storm. So, are you running on generators?
No, I can, but I'm not yet.
But then it dawned on me, if you're running on generators, you more than likely wouldn't have internet. It's those guys. What's up, Night Train? He was the first one here at about 10 minutes to. And
Hey, Hadley's famous.
We appreciate you guys coming in early because this should be a good live stream, right, Herman?
Oh yeah, Roger. How you doing?
Yes, Roger's eating dinner, so he's sitting back.
Train. What's up, man?
Hadley's here also. I saw him type earlier, so I guess a few people are listening.
Don't forget to hit that like button too.
Yes, do that. But also, it's not happy, but it's 9/11. I can kind of say happy 9/11 day. How would you say that, guys? I mean,
the day of remembrance.
Yeah, that would work.
Hey, Mike Roach Studios in the house. What's up, Mike?
Roach, what's good?
You know, Lawrence, today's show, you know, everybody talks about flying in New York and how hard it is to do certain things and why we have so many rules and regulations here. And September 11th ushered in a lot of things here in New York, and a lot of people don't realize it, how many things that has changed since that. You know, and that's why I said tonight's show, you know, was remembering 9/11. Like, where were you when the planes hit?
I remember exactly where I was. In fact, anyone that I know that was in the state of New York can remember exactly where they were to the exact time and almost to within minutes because it was voting day that day. And I was actually making money, $50. What was it? $50 for about 3 or 4 hours, just handing out flyers. It was. I do remember at the school right there around the corner from my house. I remember it very vividly.
So you remember
Billy Drone Life, I'm sending you a link. What happened?
I told you that when I went to trade school, it was 5.5 years. And I think it was like in my 4th or 5th year. Well, yeah, I was working for this company, and we were in the World Trade Center, and they had a big job over there doing the fire alarm, and they were still in the building when the planes had hit. You know, 17 guys were lost.
Okay.
Reunion that day.
And I have a neighbor that actually he doesn't live here now. He used to live above me, and he was on the last subway train that made it out of Manhattan because if you remember, they shut down the island of Manhattan, like the movie Escape from New York. Manhattan, you could not get out on or off Manhattan that day. And he was one of the people that drives to Brooklyn, one borough away, and takes the train 5 or 10 minutes into town. And he made the last train out of Manhattan and got to his car. And I remember when he came home, he was covered all in dust. Like, do you see the pictures of the lady and the people?
Yeah.
He had all of that dust on him when he got out of his car. And then people was like, well, you don't have to ask where he was.
Well,
Ah,
for any of the people that don't know, you know, the subway comes in right underneath those buildings. And when that happened, part of it, you know, imploded down into the
Into the subway.
yes, yes,
you know,
yes.
don't know what it is. It's actually like a big mall inside of there.
Yes, because that particular area there is about 8 or 9 stories below Manhattan street levels because there's so many trains intersecting through that area. The PATH trains from New Jersey come on from under the water through there. You have the A train, the E train, the 2, 3, 4. Most of the trains, that's a main hub in New York, in Manhattan, where trains crisscross and intersect.
Did it collapse right down on top of them, or was it able to stabilize
The
and
weight
hold it?
from
Well,
what we go ahead.
the subways weren't really damaged. It was just mainly that concourse that they built inside of there with the malls and the stores and stuff like that.
And
Mainly
that really gave in due to the weight of all that concrete coming down at one time. You
So
know.
there was probably some fatalities in there too, right?
well, it's a possibility.
I wouldn't be surprised because they couldn't even get down there until they figured out what the hell was going on above
The
ground.
crazy thing is that they did catch people who were looting in there because, you know, there's expensive watch stores and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, which is sad because they say there was a movie made the day the earth stood still. Well, believe it or not, that really happened on 9/11 because I know people, I have friends that are overseas that were like, dude, we're watching what's happening in New York. Where are you at? And I said, I'm home. I'm out in the suburbs. Now, I'll put up a picture later on of the distance. In fact, you guys saw on Sunday that sunset with the city in the background with the sun reflecting. That's how far we were, but we could see the smoke coming from the towers. That's how much smoke it was. It was just a continuous burn. It looked like somebody was holding off a flare and it was blowing in the wind.
You know where over there, Maspeth,
Yeah, what's up, Mike?
Grand Avenue,
Hey, Philly,
Mike.
I sent you a link.
over
Yeah, I'm trying to get what?
Yeah,
Grand Avenue over in Maspeth. I was working over there at OTB before they went out of business. And
All right, cool.
that was the main place where, you know, OTB printed up all the slips and everything like that.
I'll be right back, guys.
yeah.
Yeah, the company I was working for had a job over there. And I was on that job. And I'm standing out in the street watching the building on fire. Because you know that when you, okay, I'm gonna tell you exactly where that area is. You know when you come across the bridge on the BQE
Yes.
and you see the cemetery on both sides? Grand Avenue is like
I
on
know
the back.
exactly where it is.
And I'm looking straight across that into Manhattan. I'm watching it on fire, and I'm talking to my father about it. And he said to me, another plane just hit the building. I was watching it from that far away when the plane hit, the second plane hit the building actually, because I saw it it was on the news already after the first plane had hit.
Right. Well, when it happened, when the first plane hit, I was actually like I said, we were giving out flyers for the election, you know, giving people flyers. Hey, what's up, Mikey?
I'm going to be
Yeah.
right back. I got to go out and try and clear the drains in the street. It's flooding in the street out there.
Okay, all right.
Mute,
Good luck.
hey, mute your TV, Paul.
What's that?
I'll mute it. I'll
Did
mute it.
you get
I'll
it?
mute it.
Okay, thank you.
And what was messed up about it was the fact that, see, I lost my train of thought. Lost my train of thought. It'll come
You were
back.
passing out flyers that day?
Oh, we were passing out flyers when the first plane hit, and a police officer came out, and he was like he looked really scared because you know that police officers patrolling, they get the poles, and he came out and he's like, hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Just hold on. I got to call my wife. I have to call my wife. And someone came up behind him and asked him, is it true? What's up, Mr. Crowley? And he said, yeah, a plane just crashed into the World Trade Center. And they believe it was terrorists because it was flying below radar. So I was like, what? He says, yeah. And you could hear over the radio, the police radio was going crazy. You could barely distinguish what was going on over his radio. So I said, look, I live right around the corner, 3 houses over. Let me run home and find out what's going on. And I came home and cut the TV on, and I was like, oh, sugar honey iced tea. The building was hit by a plane. So I'm watching, and you know, they're speculating by then. Well, it was possibly terrorism because of whatever reason they thought it was terrorism. I believe they believed that the planes were flying under radar. And somebody said they saw the plane make the turn. You know where they take off from LaGuardia and loop out, Herman, towards the Bronx and come around? This plane came downtown from in that direction. And I was watching. I ran back to the cop and said, yeah, a plane did hit. I reported back to him. And then he got in his car. He just forgot about work and got in his car. He just plain drove the hell off. But to make a long story short, I ran back home and I watched the rest of it. And while they were showing, and I did get to see the plane coming down. Now, I live in a private house. My mother lives down in the 50s in projects. Now, her building is 6 stories tall. And everybody who lived in a tall building was up on the roof out here in the peninsula, literally looking towards Manhattan, watching what was going on.
Wow.
Hey, Mr. Crowley, how you doing?
What's going on, guys?
You know, so, and like you were saying, where was I had to start out the statement by saying everyone that was in the state of New York City, in the state of New York, because I'm sure Mike Roach, you remember exactly where you were.
I was getting up that morning. You know, I get up a little later than the average person. And my neighbor called me and said a plane hit the World Trade Center. And I'm right off the bat, I'm thinking, well, it's a passenger or propeller plane, like a single engine, something small. And as soon as you put the news on, you knew it was something big. And then I believe as I was watching the news on the live feed, nobody knew the second plane was coming. And there was like second plane hit, and no one even commented because even I was like, did I just see that?
Yeah.
And it was surreal and then it was on NBC News that morning. And I thankfully for myself, I didn't know anybody who was in the buildings.
Well,
a friend of mine does, but I know Herman. You mentioned you know some people who were in there, yeah, and that's the amount of people that thing touched, and it's still touching to this day. People are still dying from the smoke and all that stuff.
Yep.
And it goes on, and as we get farther away from it, we got a whole generation coming up now who really doesn't remember it. I mean, that's the way it works. I get that.
Unfortunately, yeah. And that's why they passed the law. Cuomo here in New York, he passed the law saying that every school in the state of New York must take a moment of silence so people can remember. So if you may not know what the hell's going on, and while you're taking a moment of silence, you may not care as a teenager or whomever, but at some time and point, it's going to cross your life, and you're going to have to hear the story anyway. What's good, Mike?
Well, hey, good morning. Good morning.
Hey, good evening.
Hey, Mike.
It's morning to me. It's everybody kind of. Yeah, I agree with you. I know exactly where I was as well. I was just in the house, and where I'm usually at, but I remember exactly where I was in the house and exactly staring at the TV and going. I thought I was in a twilight zone because I didn't know if I was watching. I didn't know if I was watching like a TV because it was the news. I always watch the news, and I just couldn't believe what I was watching. And I'll never forget that feeling of not believing what I was watching. And then it happening again. Because as I'm watching it the first time, I got to see the second one live, you know, because I was kind of like, you know, and then just thinking about everything. Wow. So I can't even imagine what it would be like to be in New York. I can't even imagine. I think I would have been scared shitless, man. I really would have.
Can I say one thing? When the first building was hit, okay, and after watching it on the news, I was actually making my way down to my mother's house in a panic. I don't know, but because my wife was at work and they sent them all home early. But for some reason, there was an urgency to get down there. But she was like, "What are you doing down here? Why'd you leave your house?" I'm like, "Ma, it's all right. It's in Manhattan. We're okay out here. Okay, at least for now." And I want to let you know, because of that particular event, JFK International Airport has 6 fighter jets ready to scramble.
I don't blame him.
3 minutes.
Good.
Okay. Now, my wife had asked me, or someone had asked me, do you think that there will ever be another attack again? And I can tell you, it won't be by air. Okay. And I can also tell you that it'll possibly be chemical or dirty bomb. And proof of that is in New York City subway systems, because they have radiation devices, detection devices all over Manhattan. They have air sniffing machines. You'll get off the train, you'll see this machine just sucking in air. You hear it sucking in air. And,
guys, when they say that terrorism hasn't affected our lives, I think they're absolutely crazy, because look at how our lives are changing thanks to these freaking lunatics. And I'm not only talking about lunatics in other countries. I'm talking about lunatics that live amongst us, you know.
Well.
Hey, Mike, stop pointing fingers.
What's that, Herman?
Stop pointing fingers.
All we can say, there are a lot of well, here's something I can say honestly, and there are a lot of conspiracies. I have what's made up in my mind as to what I believe went down and what happened as a result of certain proofs and everything. They say a plane flew in to the building with no windows. That was a crock of bull.
Yeah.
Okay. They were both passenger planes that were fully refueled after taking off from wherever they took off. Okay. And I can tell you, I studied architecture in college. I got bored with it because I didn't want to build little bridges with styrene plastic pieces. I wanted to really build shit. And I can tell you, from what I personally know studying architecture, the way the buildings went down is discussion that could be argued over for many, many years.
What do you
Okay,
say?
because
I don't know.
either one of those, the point I'm trying to make is the way those buildings were designed, they have endured hurricanes, the worst hurricanes and storms. Those buildings sway 3 feet at the highest peak, at the highest point. If you're up on the top floors, you can feel the buildings moving. Okay, and I can tell you, personally speaking, those planes weren't supposed to take those buildings down.
I don't know about that. I mean, I don't know what you know, but I mean, I would think that you put that kind of weight at a certain point and in any structure, it'll collapse.
Yes, but you have to look at the way it collapsed.
Okay.
Something gets hit from the side. What does it do? It goes with that momentum or sways back and breaks. You have to look at the physics of what happened.
Right.
Look at the story. Don't look at the plane. Don't listen to all that media. Look at physics. If you take this antenna and you push it like this, what does it do? It bends, right? Now,
Right.
if it wasn't strong enough to bend it, guess what it does? It comes back this way until it's straight again, all right?
All right.
Well, the thing about the buildings that hit me was that after I got up, both towers were still standing, and there was the tower that was hit lower, the first tower to collapse.
Right.
And I remember as I was watching the coverage of it thinking, is that fire, especially in the most open corner of the building, how that fire is going to melt that steel eventually, you know?
Well, we're going to hold your horses. Paul, I guess you're okay. I don't see you in a flood, in a raincoat or nothing, so I hope that all is well.
Well,
we'll get into the different aspects and what people personally think and stuff, because
Yeah.
we could talk about this from today until
Right.
next week. But let's take it easy and kind of roll into those topics, or else we won't have anything to talk about later on. Okay, but
Well,
we
I
do
just
have,
I just got home from the dentist, and I went by in the local fire department here where I live, and as a tribute, there was a fireman sitting out front, and there's been one there all day. At a different, they've been changing shifts, but one on his knees, this guy was sitting there with like a hook and stuff, and just as
Wow.
commemoration.
Wow.
And it struck me like, yeah, these guys, to them it's like, still 9/11 or 9/12.
I think what's so amazing, Mike, is when you bring that up. I mean, I feel people's pain, man. As crazy as I am, that's why I think I'm so crazy. I'm very sensitive. It is what it is, right? But I keep putting myself in the mind of a first responder that ran into a burning building, and I can't imagine what it would feel like.
you want to know what? There's a reason why there's a select few that do that, Mike.
Yeah,
There's a reason.
but nobody's thinking it's going to collapse. I mean, you want to save lives, you want to help people.
Listen, Mike, I'm going to tell you something from personal experience. There are two kinds of people that when tragedy happens, they do one of two things.
Yeah.
Three things. One is run in fear. The second is freeze in fear. And the third is run towards it. Because I actually was in an event that we were out here in Far Rockaway having a street event. And there were people setting up their tables on the street. The street was closed off. And we heard a loud cracking, a loud popping. And the whole facade of the building just went like this away from the building and started to crumble down. And in the doorway, there was a lady coming out with a stroller. Now she heard it, and we didn't know because the wall fell flat to the street like this, and there was nothing but dust and everything. And there were 5 police officers there. 3 of those police officers took the hell off. I didn't see them. Okay, 2 police officers, me, my best friend at the time, and about 3 other people immediately ran towards the facade because we remembered seeing, as it was falling, you could see people were there.
Oh,
When it fell down, they were gone and there was nothing but rubble. We all ran towards the pile and said, there's a person here. There's a baby with a lady over there.
God.
We just started moving bricks. Now, the 3 police officers that ran, all of a sudden came back and said, everybody off the rocks, we have to secure the area. And we're going, there's a person buried over here, there's a person over there, trying to give them a head count. And they literally tried to make us get off the bricks. And people were saying there's someone buried over there. So they eventually went to that pile and found someone. Make a long story short, the lady with the baby was fine because and through all of this hysteria, the baby was laughing hysterically.
I love it. I love it.
The whole event, when the smoke cleared, the baby was laughing. The mother was crying because her and the baby could have got crushed. But the baby, everyone said, "Where's the baby? Where's the baby?" And the baby was just laughing hysterically, looking at everyone running around.
Must have thought it was a
Right.
riot.
The point I'm getting at is there are people who respond, and there are people who don't respond. Now, when that event happened, I didn't say, "Oh shit," or think about running. I saw that there was someone over there. And for me, that was the only person that I saw. So I didn't take my eye off of a particular spot. And I noticed other people did the same thing.
Mhm.
Now, only one person was a casualty out of all of that. But just to say, when events happen, you don't know how you're going to respond.
Right.
Right.
You could have the bravest man. When those 3 cops ran, I'm sure they were running for their life out of fear and had completely forgot their training. The other 2 cops didn't. I've never had training or anything like that, but I knew instinctively to go try and help someone. So I can kind of understand, but to run into a building on fire,
Yeah.
so that takes 4 balls, not 2.
Yeah.
And those guys knew they were into something that they'd never seen before,
Yeah.
You could see their eyes from the photos of, some of the firemen who never made it out of there when they're going up the stairs, and like they might not go home. It's like they knew it then.
Yeah.
A lot of, you know what? A lot of them did know. A lot of them did know. And it's because of this event that happened 18 years ago. A lot of things are different. From now on, the police, firemen, and medical EMS are not on the same frequency.
Well, you got to remember one thing when it comes to that situation. You're talking about the training and the training and the training. Ask any fireman that's been through the training, ask them when was the last time they had to go 90-something stories with their equipment on their back.
Yep. Yeah. And not 3 or 4 stories or 6 stories like they used to running.
Good point.
And to go and start helping, and people are running crazy past you at that time to now go and try to get people out of a fire.
True. In the dark. In the dark, mind you, because a lot of the light that was in those buildings, a lot of the backup lighting systems were half working and or burnt out. And the only light that were in some of these staircases were the firemen's lights going up the stairs while everyone was running down.
Well, what happens in a situation like that? Those emergency lights kick on immediately, and the building is not wired in one continuous circuit.
Right.
Because if that, the lights would be dim upstairs anyway. So,
nice picture, Paul.
It's done in a way where there would have been light in most of that building, but in the area where it was hit, no, it wouldn't have been much of anything.
So let me ask you a question. How do you guys feel? The person that's been through therapy and all. My mind automatically thinks about stuff like this. Do you think it's important to talk about it or to kind of not talk about it? Because by talking about it, it does bring up a lot of feelings for people, even people that haven't been in it. Or is it good to talk about it? How do you guys feel about that?
Well, I don't know. For me personally, I usually don't talk about certain things.
Yeah, a lot of guys don't talk about crap.
If it's not relevant at the time, it's just not relevant at the time.
Depending on,
and I try to.
I can agree with Herman. Depending on how relevant it is, like for example, if you remember the first time they tried to blow up the World Trade Center, they tried through a bomb.
Garage.
Right.
My sister-in-law.
That was McVeigh, wasn't it?
Right. Now my sister.
No, that was the FBI.
It was Oklahoma.
Oh, that was the FBI. You're right.
Well, the FBI building, but that was in the Freedom.
Oklahoma.
Okay. I mean, that was in the World Trade Center. And
I remember that.
In that building. And it was for that reason that she changed her job from that building. And right, when the van, my wife just corrected me, when the van blew up, she was in the building. And from that point on, she was shell-shocked. Till this day, if she hears a loud noise, she kind of freaks out.
My mother worked at the hotel.
Right. I mean, because that was a huge bomb, and there was a lot of destruction then, and it's like sometimes things are so long ago, and people, the farther away you get from New York, I think the further removed people are in terms of the feeling of it and the memories of the details. But I know that a lot of people left the World Trade Center because of that reason, of the memories of what was it, 96 when they first attacked. And as far as talking about it though, I obviously we can't dwell on it all the time, but in my case, as any of us could have been in that building. Paul could have been visiting New York City and been up on the 100th floor, at the restaurant or something, and I look at it as like a personal attack on each and every one of us.
Well, and the other thing too, Mike, is I agree, there's a whole new generation of kids that now are turning 18 years old,
I have no
that
idea.
don't even know what we're, unless you talk about it.
And this is where when Philly Drone Life, Mikey says, is it worth talking about? Yes, it is, because believe it or not, if you don't talk about it, for one, it gets forgotten.
Yeah.
And for two, if you don't talk about it, you can't do like they did before they had books and before they wrote on stone and things. That's how you told stories, and that's how you remembered stories,
Also,
by
you
talking
can't-
about it and passing it on to generation after generation. Unfortunately, the youth today is called Generation X because it's unknown of what will become of that generation. They really don't give a damn about anything, anybody but themselves.
Yeah.
And it's a damn
Yeah.
shame. It's a really
Another-
damn shame.
Another thing too, I mean, it's still, to me, it's still 9/12 in terms of like every day. My mindset is it's September 12th, and it's that fresh. I'm not going around angry all the time, but it never leaves my subconsciousness or whatever. But you know how Pearl Harbor Day often now is like just another day. People don't even remember or even know what it is.
Right.
Unfortunately, I think the same thing in 20, 30, 40 years is going to happen with the
Well,
9/11 attacks.
We shall see, because it's been 18 and
Well, unfortunately, what'll happen are bigger things, because there's such horrible people in this world constantly trying to hurt other people. And now that's the good thing to do. There's people that can't stand America. They hate us for what we stand for, our freedoms. They hate everything about us. And so they're constantly trying every day to try to hurt us. So I don't know, man. I
You want to
think
know what it is, Mike?
it's something bigger in 20.
Mike, it's not so much that they want to hurt us. It's they don't agree or believe in our beliefs.
Yeah.
Because
Well, it's the
if
same
you
old
look
war.
at the United States from the outside, we are the most wretched people on this earth. We have millions and millions of homeless. We have medical problems. We have food problems, and all of it leads back to one source. Okay, all of it leads back to one source, and this goes beyond becoming the Democrat, Republican, liberal, conservative, whatever the hell you want. It goes way beyond that. Our system is broken.
Yeah.
It's broken for a very long effing time.
Tell me about it.
Something needs to be done about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're
We have
hypocrites.
become, hold on, we have become exactly why we left the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
Because
We're
of all the tyranny, the money, people starving in the streets, all of that stuff, the United States broke off and said, hey, we want to start our own thing. We don't believe in your beliefs. And we become exactly like
what
what
they
we
wanted
left.
to do is make their own money, is what they wanted to do. That's all. They wanted to start their own mob. Because me personally, I have my own feelings. You got to watch what you say out on public TV.
Yes,
But
and I worked very hard just to get that whole statement out.
I know but you got to be so careful, because believe, my grandfather used to say, believe half of what you see and none of what you hear, or something. Paul, what's the saying? I think that's it. Half of what you see and none of what you hear, I think.
Right.
Something like that.
Heard
And
it from the grapevine. Heard it through the grapevine. Yeah.
yeah, basically, don't believe
Line from that
anything.
song.
Don't believe it. And he used to say, trust yourself and a dead person. And sometimes don't even trust yourself. Now that's freaking wisdom. That's wisdom. Don't trust the person unless he's dead.
Wow.
Which means don't trust anybody, because and they're just humans. The people running the show are just humans. So and they're all affected by greed and everything else, and whatever.
My only interest is I want to see how they're going to write this down in history.
Oh,
Because often whoever controls, the books and the ink and the paper dictate what gets put on it. And this
all the
goes
history
from
books are wrong anyways.
yeah.
that's
Good
You know what I
point, Mr.
mean?
Crowley. Yeah.
That's a
Where's the
whole nother-
aliens?
that's a
Where's
whole
the
nother
freaking
topic.
aliens?
Well, listen, that's
Where
a
did
whole
they
other
come
topic
from? They're
itself.
not in the books. I'm sorry. It gets me upset. I agree with Crowley. They're all wrong. Don't get me started.
I mean, I
Well,
love where we
regardless of
live.
why they did it,
We live in a country
did.
much better than any other country, and I really feel that way. I feel that we don't have the dictatorships. We're not as threatened here. We can go in our houses most of the time and shut the door and be safe.
Where you live?
I live in Boston.
Oh, you can shut your door?
I
Oh,
live in
wow.
Yeah, I shut my door. I lock it. I
Oh,
lock it.
yeah, I bolt, lock, sit there with a gun, my feet up, and the lights on.
It's not that bad, man. Stop it.
And then when the lights, when daytime comes, I rest. Oh.
Yeah, but Michael, here's the good thing about where you live. It's your choice to live there. You can move anytime.
Oh,
There's places,
Nice.
places around.
Nobody will take them.
There are places around this world where you cannot move
That's
unless
true.
the government tells you you can't.
That's true.
They'll
That's
tell you
true.
where you're gonna go.
Yeah,
Even our jails are better than everywhere else.
yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right,
I
guys.
mean, you
You're
get
right.
2 people per cell, and some of these countries you get 60 people in a cell.
But slowly, that's changing, guys.
Talking about
Time
the,
out.
the whole jail thing. If you've never been there, let's not talk about that.
But the jail thing?
Yeah.
Well, no. Who's going there? Who went there? No.
I'm just saying, if you've never been there, let's not talk about because that's a zoo. I don't care
All
where
right, when I was in Attica,
Yeah.
I know Mike watches that guy who talks about being in jail and stuff.
You were there for a minute.
But
Let me tell you something. I spent 3 days in Camden County Prison. It felt like 3 years. It was the longest time of my life. I'll never forget it as long as I live. My butt still hurts, and nobody touched it. Stop. No, that's not what I'm talking about. It was so scary, and simply because I never been arrested before, so I never knew it was. I didn't know what they were going to do with me. I was younger. I was scared.
And you heard all
needed
of the
the money.
stories. You heard all
I
of the
needed the
stories.
money.
Don't drop the soap and all of that, right?
You just don't know, because as a young kid, you think, oh my God, I'm going away for life. My life, I ruined my life forever. Where my ear, I catastrophized everything. I had no clue, and
Then you posted bail, and you were like, "This is easy, man."
then you act like the tough guy.
You're all tough guy. You had the street
Yeah.
cred. Like, but I'm
Guys,
the
listen,
man.
I can't do time, man. I don't like small places. If I can, it was small, and I don't like being trapped. I felt trapped. That's all I can remember. So that's the biggest problem.
that's why they take your shoelaces and your belt
Exactly.
48 hours to make sure you don't.
Yep.
I asked why. You're exactly right, and that's
You know,
that's
hang up.
Yeah.
They give you your foot gear, anyways.
what were the attacks like? Regardless of our imperfection as a country, which we have, obviously, and regardless of why they attacked us, they did attack us, and we got to never let that go for as long as we can. And I'm glad you guys are talking about it today, because how do you not talk about it today? It's glaring, especially for Herman and Lawrence, who actually live in the city, who maybe smelled the smoke or heard the sounds.
Well, it's healing, Michael. It's healing, and I agree with it. Without putting light on it, guys, it does build monsters, and it can build and turn into anything. When you put light on something in the dark, it's not scary anymore, and it does get better. The ghosts have to go away. They only live in the darkness. And
To not
lot of
talk about
euphemism
it
there,
and
but
live in fear.
Well, 2 things.
Oh, sorry, Mike. I didn't cut you off.
Two things with that. Here in Brooklyn, like we were so close to the Trade Center that it was like a ticker tape parade over here with the amount of paper
And ash.
from
Yeah.
buildings
Paper
and
and ash. for
ash that was coming down
yes,
over here in Brooklyn.
wow,
Like over by the Army terminal, they had they assembled up a team of people that had to go in there, and when we were over there, it was like a whole bunch of paper
wow.
just coming down like it was a parade or something.
So let
and
me
then-
ask you something. Oh God, I'm sorry.
With my birthday being the week after, I went to a restaurant, and this restaurant that I was taken to has a big, gigantic window so you can see Manhattan. and there was a big mushroom cloud
Oh,
right there in downtown Manhattan for like
Yeah.
24 hours, 48 hours, weeks. That dust sat there.
And you
wow.
want to know what's messed up about it? And I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason, because the 9/11, the supporters, the firemen, the police, the volunteers that went in there to go help dig in those piles. I thought it was so appealing to me to actually want to go down there that on the third day I went, and they had lines of people, hundreds and hundreds, I'd say thousands of people that were trying to go in and get work for the day to help, not even just get work for the day, but the city, New York City needed people to dig that rubble out. So every morning, if you were there 6 a.m. and were the first 50 to the first 100 guys, you went in that day and you helped dig out or do whatever you could, retrieval, whatever they asked you to do. And it was usually rubble, moving out dirt, buckets and stuff. And for some reason, the 2 days that I went down there, I was never picked and I was turned back. And it's funny because those survivors that have all went down there and dug and did all of that stuff, they all have respiratory diseases. And I find this as kind of crazy because I have a respiratory disease for a different reason. I smoke cigarettes. I did a lot of harm to my body.
Right.
Okay. And the guy that went to Congress, the gentleman that just died, you remember him? The
Police
cancer?
officer.
Yes. The gentleman, he went down to Congress and said, you guys have to keep giving us money because we're dying every day. And then he died a
Yeah.
week later. That guy was down there digging every day. When he was doing his job, police officers were doing 8 and 10-hour shifts on their regular job and going into Manhattan and digging out and trying to support and dig and just help the city out. And I just find it so strange that they would actually sugar honey iced tea on so many thousands and thousands of people that now are having respiratory diseases, kidney disease, cancers, and everything else under the
That's
sun.
what makes me so upset, because if you want people not to forget, and you want people to fight and have all this patriotism, and I get it. We live here, but at the same time, the people in control and on top don't give two shits about us.
Agreed, Aerial Landscape.
I
Thank
don't understand.
Thank God they finally passed a bill. But and this may sound mean what I'm about to say, and I pray it doesn't happen, and I pray that I'm wrong. But they'll forget about 9/11, and you want to know when they'll forget about it, and they'll stop talking about it? When the last survivor that
Gone.
helped dig down there dies.
Yeah.
As
Well,
long as someone comes up and says, I'm dying because I helped my country, I did this during 9/11, it'll stay strong. You understand what I'm saying?
Lawrence, they don't even pick up after our military people that lose
But
frick land.
there are fewer and fewer people.
Right, Mike. Those wars are over.
Yeah.
For us, but not really. You'd be surprised.
Well, I
I only
understand
know
what you're
somebody
saying.
who's going
I
home.
understand exactly what you're saying. I'm just saying to you that's the thing. When you say we don't help out our veterans, the way we should.
Yeah.
Those wars are over.
Right. Yeah, that's
And
the way.
Now, each and every one, we're not going to get too political, but each and every one of our veterans that are abroad now, I want to let you know, they did a statistic on the freaking news, on the world news the other night, and they said when number 45 got in office, there were this amount of people over there fighting, and he promised to bring home that many amount of people. Well, to current date, I can't tell you the exact number because I don't remember it, but there are 3 times the amount of our American men over there fighting now than when he got in office and promised to bring them home. So there's a lot of things you can get mad about and talk about, but it all starts here at home.
Yep.
How do you go and protect this company and come home and become homeless? I don't conceive. I don't understand that, man. That really fucking I'm sorry. That really pisses me off, man.
Dude, how do you go fight for your country, get our Ancient Orange, and they don't want to pay? For you and your children, how's that happen?
Exactly. And
Right. Politicians got short memories, man. That's just
Oh.
That ain't, but that's like freaking, I don't know. That's like that's beyond politics. Like, that's just ruthless, man.
Humanity,
Yeah, that's simple morals.
And I'm going to tell you something. And you know what's even more scary about all of this with the military and what's happening in the world? If we got into a war with any country out there and they reinstated the draft, we might as well just put a gun to our heads, because these little pansy ass kids out there today can't fight for us. I'm serious. I can't say it no other way. And I'm serious. A kid today don't know how to throw a football.
Yeah.
A kid today don't know how to throw a snowball.
Because of technology, yeah.
But he could throw a pair of Jordans up on a freaking telephone line.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's a damn shame. Right now, we are, and this is kind of leading on to the next topic, Herman. So pick up in between lines here. But right now, this is why, if we were to go to war with China, right now we're in a financial war with China. Okay, and this is like a segue going on to our next topic. But we could not fight a ground war in any country with the kids we have today.
Well, I don't think we would fight a ground war.
Well, if we had to, we wouldn't be able to. How many kids today could take a punch to the jaw? Nonetheless, a slap against the face.
Well, thank God that they got boot camp. So at least hopefully they send some of them people.
Dude,
About that?
boot camp would be a waste of time with the kids today.
Yeah, but the thing about that boot camp is that I think that it's still a proven test, because it seems to weed out to weed out the ones you really don't need.
To weed out the weak so the Lions can have them.
It seems
got the wrong ones.
It seems
That's how it should be.
the right ones at the end of camp. They seem to find the right ones, and the ones that can't.
Yeah.
Well, thank God we got a volunteer military right now of people, and a lot of quality people who want to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Thank God
these
for
are
those
also people who would love to be home but can't, because they know the pansies here that are coming up in the military. And I respect the military. I have a lot of respect for the military, law enforcement, and everything. And I'm not saying all military are pansy. Do not get me wrong on that. I'm saying the children of today that are saying, I want to go up and join the army. And then after they sign that paper and the guy comes kicking his door in at 4 a.m. because he says you signed that paper and it's time to go. Now it's a game. Oh, I didn't think it was serious.
Yeah. Yeah.
I passed the test for the Navy. I passed the test for the Air Force. And both times, okay, I was told, if you sign this paper here, I'm going to give you a chance to think about it. I'm going to give you a few days, 3 days to think about it with the Navy. If you sign this paper here, no matter what, on so-and-so date at 5 a.m., I have the right to kick your door in and drag you out of bed. And I chickened out. 3 days later, I went in and I said, you know what? I've thought about it and I don't want to be in the Navy. And then I went and took the test for the Air Force. And I'm going into the Air Force, and I don't know why. I want to be a fighter pilot and all this. And when it came down to signing that paper, I chickened out again. And after that, I'm like, you know what? It's just not for me.
A good friend of mine was in the Navy in the 1980s. So, we weren't on a war footing at that time. And he spent most of his 4 years down in Norfolk, Virginia. And he basically, there was in boot camp in the Navy compared to like the Marines and stuff.
Mhm.
He said it was a cakewalk. You get a few days of kind of like Full Metal Jacket treatment, you know, and where they throw the garbage can down the room to wake you up and all that stuff.
Yeah.
and but within a few weeks it was like, at least in his opinion, pretty easy. And then he worked on helicopter electronics that's on the Admiral's fleet and stuff. So, he wasn't even on a ship. So, it's, that was his experience of that. you know, but they got a few days of, you know, it was Marines who were working on them. So the Marines love picking on the Navy guys.
Oh yeah, that's an ongoing thing. That's Army, Air Force, and it's the Navy and Marines, because the Navy is supposed to be able to drink as much as the Marines are and stuff like that. But it's always the Navy that takes the Marines to these events. You know.
So the Marines are part of the Navy.
Yeah, Marines.
So,
My best friend was in Marines, and it's funny you mentioned that, Mike, because he tells me these stories that, you know, I realize that is only for young people, because these guys would go out drinking and you got to get up next day to go. You
nauseous stomach, feeling sick.
you got to, no matter what you did the night before, you got to get up and go.
That's right.
Paul, welcome back. Is everything all right? You kind of blacked out.
Internet problems.
Okay.
Because
that is a young thing though, because if you all remember being young, I know for me, I remember staying out all night and having my way with the ladies and drinking all night and then going to work the next morning all pumped.
Mike,
I had a part.
Mike, I'm gonna tell you something real quick. I used to leave my house out here in the suburbs on Monday.
There you go.
My mother wouldn't see me until about Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah, right.
And this included going to school, hanging out, riding skateboards, doing graffiti all night on the New York City subway train, and getting up, going to school, and then during lunch, going to hang out and partying with the college students, because they all thought we were college students, because as big as we were.
Because these are Sasquatches. Yeah. So it's age. It's all age, man. When the body gets old, forget it, man. It just starts breaking down.
Yeah, once you gotta leave that event and go to another one, the night's over.
Yeah.
That's why they don't draft old people.
Yeah.
Exactly. Valid point. Very valid point.
I can see it now. 45 years old, going through boot camp, you're like,
get the hell out of here.
I want to be able to get down the hallway.
Push-ups.
I'm done. I'm done. I said, I thought I could do it.
Like, just shoot me now.
Shoot me now. How many jobs? What? Okay, no. One.
Where's the cafeteria?
Listen, after drinking all night and having to get up 2 or 3 hours later, that would not be cool. That's definite signs for a dishonorable discharge, because I'm not having it.
That's why you don't go to bed. You stay up.
Guys, let me bring up something real morbid. It's so bad, but I can't help it. As a drone pilot, I think it is shit. You know, we're talking about 9/11, right? And 18 years ago, there were no drones, right? There were no DJI things. But could you imagine having a Phantom 4 Pro or a Mavic 2 Pro when that happened? Could you imagine like getting that footage? Wowzers, man. The
You
footage.
want to know what?
People got the footage.
We might have free range at this point.
Yeah. Yeah.
The one that if you the one that got those pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah, back then you probably could have made a pretty penny, because for days, the people in Brooklyn, like where Herman's talking about his part of Brooklyn, that he's near the downtown Brooklyn area, the smoke was literally so thick because it smoldered and it smoldered and it burned. Then they were moving rubble and dust, and everything was getting put in the air, and it was all drifting towards Brooklyn. In fact, from satellite, you could see the smoke fumes going over the ocean.
Yeah. But as a drone pilot, you can help people. I mean, that could have saved lives. You knew which way. Now, I know our weather people did it and we had it in helicopters, but imagine our drones. I mean, 18 years ago, DJI didn't have the Mavic 2 Pro or any Mavics or anything like that. But, you know, you could send them up and multiple people and constantly giving information. But I'm a videographer, so I can't.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
The footage would have been just.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, Mike, Had they had drones back then, I might have been like you. The dynamic range of the smoke.
Yeah, look at the smash bill people would. Oh, I would have.
And what is it? What else is it? The smoozleberries?
Yes, no, the schnozberries or schnozberry or the blueberries.
Snozberries. Okay. Snozberries. The
The
colors.
way I
of the
look at that, in terms of like photographing it and all that stuff, obviously in New York City at any given time, there's, hundreds and hundreds of people with
But-
cameras doing stuff. And the people, imagine the mindset right now of the people who got some still photos or videos of the people jumping
Well,
and stuff.
Mike,
The effect that it would have on them.
it's
in their
funny
head.
you say that, Mike, because there were people that, and I saw a clip.
That blows my mind.
It was a documentary, and they tell you at the beginning of the documentary it's very, very morbid.
Yeah.
Because they show photographers and videographers looking up, and it was to the point where when people start jumping out of a window that high up, you're trying to get away from fire, and fire will make
Right.
you do some
Actually, what they were trying to get away from was not being able to breathe.
yeah.
Well, it's
It's
smoke.
not the fire,
Yeah.
it's more so the smolder, because you have to keep in mind that ceiling tiles and sheetrock and those things do not burn, they smolder.
But I don't
That
understand
building,
why would you quit like that? Like if it was me,
I think it was
Because you
all of it.
can't
The
breathe.
heat,
but
the
you
heat,
Can't
the
breathe,
smoke,
it's too hot.
all of it.
Mike, it's too hot. You can't breathe. I can give you the perfect example. I have COPD, right? Okay. Now, on any given day that it's too humid or too cold, I can't breathe outside. If it's too humid, I can stay inside under air conditioning. When it's too cold out, if I have a muzzle here that I have to put on. This is a muzzle to help me breathe in the winter. Okay. Now, if you know what a coffee stirrer straw is, the next time you go to the store, any of you, even the people in the chat watching, go to the store, get a coffee stirrer straw, and take it in your hand and take a deep breath like you normally do, and go like this. And then in the next breath, try to inhale through that straw. Like Herman said, to not be able to breathe, the smoke, to not be able to see where you're going, and out there is fresh air and it's cooler. You'd be surprised what the mind will do to your body. You may not want to jump, and your body may twitch so you fall off because your body's trying to get the hell away
Right.
from what's going on.
Right. There's obviously no choice. I mean,
they
you know,
couldn't breathe.
this couldn't stand it anymore.
yeah.
Hey,
Obviously.
Alvarez, what's up? What's up, dude? And then we appreciate you listening while in
Yeah.
traffic. But all
I
I
remember
can
the
say is,
pictures of the
Mike,
smoke.
you say what would make you quit like that? Mike,
Well, what I'm thinking, like if I was able to get to a ledge, if I can get out the window to jump, I would have. But again, I don't know what the window. I would have gone out the window, just stayed there at the
well,
window.
let me explain it this way. First of all, none of those windows open.
Right.
And there's no ledge.
Okay, so
There's
in
no.
order for you to get up to strength, you've
Yeah,
heard
you're
of
right.
super mom strength, a
I
mom
would have jumped.
off of her child. Well, when you're trying to get away, fight or flee, you get that superhuman strength. People were
Yeah.
busting out shatterproof windows
Yeah.
with
Oh,
tables, chairs, whatever the hell they had to get.
Most of that was from the destruction from the plane that hit it.
Yeah. The
Hey, what's
shot.
up, Indigo
I
Ryan?
said to you that, whatever people say about the building, that if you realize that the plane actually parked up there, the
Yeah.
core of the building stayed intact.
It didn't go out the other side. Yep.
Right. Now, keep in mind, every time if the plane hit this side of the building and you were on this side of the building and you couldn't go down and you couldn't go up, well, guess what? The first thing you try to do is break a freaking window. Okay.
Well,
What
anybody
does fire
above the
do?
plane couldn't
What
come
does
down.
fire do? Backdraft. Fire backdraft. You create a vacuum, the fire feeds that way. You give it an air source by breaking a window, the fire's headed in that direction towards the air source.
Regardless of that, you have to keep in mind that the amount of sheetrock and tiles and stuff that's in that building
And carpet
thing is smoldering,
and wood.
Airplane fuel.
not really burning. See, with the whole thing with airplane fuel, and this is why I don't like the topic, because everybody keeps talking about the airplane fuel. And simple science that you were taught in the 5th grade tells you that once that plane hit the building and it exploded, that was the hottest point of that airplane fuel. The airplane fuel exploded. It cannot melt that steel. If it could melt that steel, they would use it to burn steel.
True.
They use acetylene torches and things like that to burn hotter than that. That fuel was at its hottest point at the explosion. To keep it, to be able to keep that heat, you would have to continuously pour fuel.
Okay.
Now what happened?
Right, and that goes back to what I
People
was.
died in there because of the smolder from all of those sheetrock and the tiles.
So what brought it down, Herman? What do you think?
I'm not going to get into that.
We can't get into that. Okay, now stop. Hold on, Philly. This is why I said we had to let it lead on into later on into the street, because this is where being an architect can explain things like that.
Okay. I don't get into that, because I know people who were in that building. I know people who made it out of that building. My partner at work, his wife died in that building. You know, I know people who didn't make it out of that building. And to watch the way it came down, I'm not going to talk about that.
Right, and that's understandable, because then you get into other conspiracies and stuff. And I understand what Herman's saying, but Mike, I'm going to give you some food for thought, and you can actually do this research yourself.
Okay.
Okay, and just do the research on what does it take to implode a building, and that's all I'm going to say. That's all I'll say for the rest of the night. I will not bring it up anymore, because if I do, I'll turn red in the face. What does it take to implode a building?
Implode a building. Okay.
Implode a building. Keyword, implode. And I'm going to leave it at that.
Okay.
Okay. I happen to know for a fact that, and Herman, let me know if I'm going too far with this, but I happen to know for a fact, and I am in no way making any racist remarks. Wednesday nights with those guys is not trying to take it in that direction. But I'm going to tell you one thing, and this is a true statistic that a lot of people don't know about. On this particular day, Diane, your mother's calling me.
Those guys, sponsored by those guys.
Sorry.
The question I have is, what is she calling you?
This is like the back phone.
Sponsored by those guys.
Those guys.
He's on the phone right now, okay? All
I
right.
thought he was doing a drop, Mr. Crowley.
Yeah, Lawrence, what'd she call you?
Get it? No,
What did she call you?
what was I talking about? I lost it. The general just called. The mother-in-law. You know,
You're talking about imploding.
Time stops when that lady calls.
Oh, those guys.
What was I talking about?
Those
We
guys.
were talking about the mother-in-law.
Yeah.
Stop it. You're distracting me.
Those
Imploding. You said
How much you
imploding.
love your mother-in-law.
Okay. All I can say is there are certain ways to destroy structures. Man has discovered and found out every possible way to get moved through a mountain, around a mountain, or move the mountain.
Now, you were
correct?
talking about not being racist, and you said on
Oh,
that.
yeah, you
Oh,
said
yes. Okay. All right. Well, all I can say is, and I found out through a source that the gentleman who owns the World Trade Center, both buildings, happen to be of a certain ethnicity. Okay.
Well,
I'm going to say that the owner of the World Trade Center was Jewish.
Okay.
you know, it's
A lot of
crazy.
people, a lot of people didn't know that.
I
But-
didn't know that.
So
It's crazy that you mentioned that, because as long as those buildings have been there, it's funny, he's the first person that's ever owned a lease for it. It belongs to the
Right.
taxpayers.
right now, getting to point, what I'm saying is,
Huh.
on this particular day of 9/11, and you have to do the research yourself on the people who died and their ethnicities. 900 Jewish people called out on this day. Now, if the owner of the building Jewish, and 900 people of the 3,000 Jewish people that work in that building, in those two buildings, called out, don't you think somebody said, hey, I think you should call in sick tomorrow?
1/3. Yeah, 1/3 called out. Yeah.
Exactly. Now get back into the physics of taking down a structure, and then it goes on from there. And that's all I'll say.
Lawrence,
You
Lawrence,
can,
the only question I have is in those two buildings, I heard it reported that over 100,000 people report to work there every day.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
but the buildings only lost 3,000.
Yes.
I will say nothing else. Draw your own conclusions.
I thought it was the time. I thought it had to do with the time that people don't go into work and that the buildings were full at a certain time. That's what the news said. I don't know.
Those buildings are occupied 24/7.
24.
It was a Tuesday.
They're occupied 24/7. They have elevator crews, they have cleaning crews, they have offices that work during the night when people are going during the
A
day.
lot of security.
Yes, there's trust me. If you look at the numbers, you look into how to take down structures, and you look into the fact that we have the most.
Start looking at those
we have
things.
the
Actually, I
most
don't want to look up
sophisticated- Hold on.
9/11 and how to
Hold
pick
on.
up
We
structures.
have the
I'm
most
gonna do that.
sophisticated radar system in the world, one of them, okay? And you couldn't find these 4 planes.
But hold on, Lawrence, you can't tell Mike to go look those things up because nowadays, since that day, this we're going to talk about freedoms. We gave up a lot of our freedoms on that day.
Yes, yes, they created, and
Patriot
every
Act.
time you guys buy a cell phone, you
Right.
could buy a TV, or you log into something, you give them permission to take your information and do what they want with it, and it's called the Patriot Act. The
Right.
Patriot Act says since 9/11, we give, by signing it, you're giving them permission on your cell phones to track you.
Listen to us.
You're giving them permission. You remember they wanted to put the rice grain in everyone, and everyone said
Right.
to hell with it, we're not putting chips. Well, they didn't have to do it because this is your chip. Your credit card is your chip. Okay. Now, by signing the Patriot Act and giving Google and Facebook and all these different sources of media permission to take your pictures, how come when you play a game on a phone, it asks for access to your phone book? How? Why? How come when you play a game on a phone, it asks for access? It asks for access to your phone, to your pictures.
It's just
If you're playing a game, because that's part of the Patriot Act. The Patriot Act, you know what? Even better. I'll look it up. You guys keep talking. Give me a second. But basically, the Patriot Act says you're giving the United States government permission to do any surveillance or take any of your information and do what they want with it until they deem that you're not doing anything illegal.
Right.
That's the
In
part.
other words, they can listen to your phone call for 30 seconds, and if you don't mention anything neglectful, they're supposed to hang up. Well,
Well,
you can believe they hang up if you want.
remember also before 9/11, they had all these people listening in, government listening to the phones.
Right.
We were looking for this opportunity for the Patriot Act. The Patriot
Yes,
Act
because
was a very big
they said it would be inhumane to put chips in humans and,
Right.
and record to every moment. So they found another way to do it.
We got chips in us because we eat American food, don't we?
Here it is. Hold on, guys. I want to share this.
In us.
I want to share this real quick while we're doing this. All right. I'm just
In
going
our
to read this small
cheeseburgers. Cole's
section.
got a ton of chips in him.
No,
What
but
the
hold on. I want to read this small section.
Frito-Lay.
You have to do it yourself. You guys have,
Frito-Lay chips. He's a good one.
you
Hey,
guys have
Lawrence.
to take this information and read it yourself. Okay.
Lawrence,
No,
I got-
don't read it to me, please.
Oh,
Nobody
sorry.
ever
All
read
right, right here. Hold on.
anything.
Patriot Act. The Patriot Act is legislation passed in 2001, 9/11, to improve the abilities of the U.S. law enforcement to detect and deter terrorism. The
Yeah.
Act's official title is Uniting and Strengthening America by Providing Appropriate Tools to Intercept or Obstruct Terrorism. And they're using our regular cell phones to do this. If you go to www.justice.gov, there's a whole bunch of rules and stuff that explain the Patriot Act. All I'm saying is every time you agree to sign on with a cell phone, or you agree to open a credit card, you're giving them permission to track.
Let me be
your
devil's
actions.
advocate here. Devil's advocate. Isn't it kind of good in a way, though? That they can, I mean, I know,
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
Yes,
you
it
know what I
is.
mean?
It's
that
good.
They could find out these rotten bastards if they're there. You know,
Listen,
if the
it's
rotten
good.
bastards are them, then there's a problem.
It's good if you're not doing anything. But for the person that's looking to blow up a building or the pedophile, how do you think they're finding so many pedophiles and rapists through their cell phones, through these cameras on TV? It's all part of the Patriot Act, which they wanted to do many years ago by putting a chip in everyone. Because if you create a crime, your body gives off a certain chemical and they can detect that.
Oh, that's
But now that you don't have, now that you don't have that rice chip in you, if you create a crime, you guys heard it. Alexa got someone locked up because Alexa recorded the entire murder.
It was to help usher in a lot of things that they wouldn't have gotten past.
Yes.
Individually.
There you go.
You guys,
Coast to coast. I'm sorry. I do get a little a little touchy on certain subjects. I'm sorry about that.
you guys, I gotta step out, man. I'm gonna still be watching, but I'm gonna eat in a second. I'm gonna go flying after, and I just want to sit here chilling in front of you guys.
Hey,
Thanks,
Mike.
nice to see you, buddy.
You know, thanks for talking about this topic, and you know, let's obviously we move on, but let's always remember. So, but I'll be watching from outside. But you guys, everyone, take care, man.
Mike.
All right, good, Mike.
Mike.
Bye bye.
We highly appreciate you. All I can say is the United States was trying to find a way, and we might as well go with this, but the United States has been trying to find a way to keep tabs on every possible American here on United States ground and around the world. And the Patriot Act allows them to do so.
And if you go back and you think it, and they found a way to do it by taking down the 2 buildings.
The Patriot Act was already written, was already in place. They were trying to find a way to make it legit and make it legal.
And they found.
I'm going to put a link.
When the building,
I'm going to put a.
That was their key to say, okay, now this is a rule.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm going to actually put a link in here. This is just a start. I can only give you food for thought, but take this link and read some of the information. But don't believe everything for what's here. Take it and read it and do more research on what we're talking about here. Because we started out talking from 9/11 and everyone knew what direction it was going in. And to be honest, you have millions of people out there that would say, why would the United States blow up? Very nice. Why would the United States do this to themselves? Why would the United States pick a certain sect of people? You want to know what? I've come to find this out, and you can read this in your own history books. Every place that the United States has touched, they've destroyed.
I think you said government in the United States.
The United States government, because I can't say United States because that means people. But you get my point. And it's sad to say we're one of the strongest countries in the world, but we're also one of the dumbest. We still can't take care of our own people here. We can't feed our homeless. We can't make sure a 93-year-old lady goes into hospice because she has no medical coverage. So instead of her dying peacefully, she's got to die in pain.
Well, somebody's got to make some money on that.
Yeah, it's all about greed. Yeah, it's all greed.
Hey, Lawrence, you remember that story about their prairie village in Kansas?
Yes, let's change the topic and go to drone news.
Yeah, let's do that.
Well,
Mr. Crowley's doing great. Oh, I'm sorry. Were you doing the news?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, bud.
Mr. Crowley and his drone. How are your drones doing, though, Mr. Crowley? That's the important.
It's going very well, man.
What I wanted to ask is, how's the bunny?
Oh, he's doing awesome.
Oh.
But we haven't brought him in for the surgery
Because he's doing okay.
It's like $800 to take the chance on if it's real or not, and he's fine. His little nuts haven't swelled up or anything. Well, he's got 2 big furry balls.
2 big furry balls.
He does. He's
Did the surgery himself.
Well, that's just how rabbits are. Sorry, I didn't mean to offend anybody, but he's got a little bunny.
I got furry balls. You didn't offend me. We all got some furry balls, don't we?
Michael.
Come on, let's get real here, guys. Come on.
But yeah, we're all guys here. It's cool.
But
we are online, aren't we?
Yes.
And there went your monetization.
Acro flying's going awesome.
Yes, he's
love it.
killing it, man. He's killing
I
it.
love it, man. I can rip a drone and just fly an acro and spin it around, and
It can rip it.
Give me
Now
another
you got to
month
do
and
me
I'll
a
kill it.
favor though. When you fly acro next time, please go around yourself. I love to see you all tilted. Mr. Crowley's all tilted, and you can see him. He's in a nirvana state.
I am. I'm in a whole nother world when I fly, man.
And Lawrence, and when he zips around, it comes so close to his head, and you
I
can.
do. I bring it right
Oh, he's
around me.
like move. He wants to move out of the way. He's like, oh, how do I control it? And you see quick moves, and it's like he's going to hit himself. I know it. I know it.
But I went to fly my Maverick Pro that I hadn't flown in 3 weeks.
Oh,
and oh my God, I was trying to get it to level.
yeah.
That's what you do with the racing drones, and I'm like moving my hands all different ways.
Yeah.
And I'm like, just let go.
Yeah.
I go like 3 times and just go let it level.
Just
Okay,
remember,
now go
I'm
back.
not really flying. It's a Mavic. I'm not really flying.
No, you're still flying, man. I love my Maverick Pro.
I wanted to see if I could get pulled.
I consider my
Check it out.
Listen, you guys need to find out about this little bit of drone news, because where Herman's leading, a lot of towns and cities around the United States are doing it, and it's illegal for them to do.
Right, a lot of city councils have been proposing these type of bills, and one town there in Kansas, Prairie Village, was able to pass a city ordinance of that you can't fly your drone there, and it's funny because
Come on.
but they put people up for 30 days in jail.
30 days in jail and 30 days in jail and a $500 fine, both of them,
For flying a toy.
for flying a drone in their town.
Uh-huh.
We're like, God, that's insane.
That was.
But the FAA stepped in.
It won't be long.
The
No,
FAA stepped in and said there's only one entity that controls what's in the air,
Airspace.
and it's us. And it's us. So it's coming. There are a lot of towns, Long Island, where we live in New York. Some towns you can't fly, some towns you can. And police are trying to tell you that they're going to confiscate your stuff and or arrest you. I'm going to tell you, they're making up these laws, like Herman said, and the FAA, one guy fought it, and the FAA dropped the entire case because it was illegal to do.
well, can I offer?
Well, hold on. The FAA says they can tell you, a particular town or city can tell you where and where not to take off from, but they cannot lock you up or fine you for flying over an area. The perfect example is you're not supposed to fly in state parks, right?
Right.
But you know what I do? I stand on city property and I fly over the state park.
Right.
Ta-da.
They haven't come out with a test yet, the FAA either. They're supposed to do
Probably not going to.
No, they are. It's in the
They're
new.
probably not going to, because the test would have to be pretty generalized and pretty standard, and it can't apply to everyone because situations are different. How could a test where you live apply to me where I live in New York City?
Well, nobody cares about that when it comes to airspace.
It's like getting the 107 license. They can tell you what to do with the airspace and say, okay, you have to pass a safety test.
But just letting you know, we could be traveling with our family or something like that and pull over to the side of the road, say, hey, I want to get a picture of this bridge or whatever, so it's the same thing Ken Herron does.
Right.
And if depending on what town you're in or where you are in the United States, they may have passed a law or may have told their police officer it's illegal to fly here. And if you find anyone flying drones, lock them the hell up and make them pay a fine.
Right.
And
Like,
guess what? Unless you can get to a phone, your behind's going to jail.
Right. That's like I told you when I was at when I went up by Lake George by the beach, they told me that they don't allow that here. But when you check out, Air Map and everything else, it was clear to fly there. But they don't allow that here. So what do? You challenge it?
Well, the thing of it is what's going to happen is the FAA is going to end up having to school the ignorant and tell them that, hey, you don't control the airspace. Remember back It was after or during World War II or something. There was a Georgia farmer there was an air base down there where they were training pilots for the war, and he said it was upsetting his chickens, and he tried to sue them and have the township and everybody tell them they can't fly the planes, and the FAA went down there and slapped the hell out of them.
That's interesting. That is interesting. Well, my only thing is, until the FAA does what it's supposed to, and like right here where I live in Far Rockaway, there is an FAA main office not far from me. It's right outside JFK International Airport. But you want to know what? When you call them, back when you used to have to call the airport, well, I had questions to ask and the airport couldn't answer. And I did get through to someone at the FAA, and you know what they told me? Call the airport. After everything I went through, they said, call the airport.
Well, the question I'd like to ask, I've never had a chance to talk to anybody from the FAA. What is the phone number for the FAA hotline for if somebody's shooting in an aircraft?
1-900 FAA1.
Well, you know, that's funny. I don't know if there is a number for that.
That should be.
You would have to probably get a lawyer that would be able to get in touch with them.
So if you were to get arrested for 30 days in this town, you may have to go through all of this.
Not even that, based on what Paul was saying, he would have to file a complaint with the local municipality.
Right.
A lawyer go after that case.
Yeah,
Right. But you're going to do those 30 days and you're going to pay that fine.
Yeah.
You know why? Because you don't want to stay in jail.
You're going to pay a lawyer to beat the felony or whatever they gave you. And it's going to cost you thousands of dollars. And that's their whole goal, because that's the way the system works. That's the way our balls and wheels roll. They throw you in a way just to keep the balls all greased, real nice and oily. It's how everybody makes money. It's all nice and tight.
Except there's also been legislation and Supreme Court rulings that government is not, what do you say it? You can sue governments for misrepresentation and for misusing the law, and you can get monetary money back as penalties.
Right.
So let's say that happened and you went to jail for 10 days before they sprung you, whatever. If you had any kind of, don't just take whatever lawyer, get yourself a good FAA lawyer, and you sue the hell out of the local government till you own the city, and they change it to Hermanville, you know?
Well,
yeah, I don't know. That's not gonna
I don't know if that's something I bought, because, you know, depending on where it is, you got to remember all the trees and stuff.
Yeah, I'll be locked up.
I'm going to pay you out.
But, you know, Paul, the problem is it costs money. It costs money to do all that.
You can find lawyers that'll take it on contingency.
Oh
yeah.
Oh yeah, especially if you're talking big bucks.
Oh, okay.
30 days in jail. You know how much work you miss?
Yeah.
30 days in the hole. 30 days in the hole.
Mr. Crowley's going into a music enterprise.
So what else is in the news, Herman?
What else is in the news? Well, you know, they had to mention that, you know, they had the Phantom 4 batteries back out, but those are sold out again. And the Mavic Pros and all those batteries, everything is going up 15% due to the tariffs involved, I guess.
Herman, what's your thoughts, Herman, on the supposed new Mavic Mini?
All right.
Is it real or not real, or?
I don't know if that's real or what. I don't know.
You know what? I think it's the Spark 2, the Spark with a new body on it.
You think?
I believe it's the Spark with a new body on it, because it has the same 2-cell battery system that the Spark has.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, but it's got the little battery
The hell
compartment.
with DJI. I'm pissed off at DJI. I don't want to talk about DJI. They piss me off. Why they got to raise their prices? Why? I don't give a shit about this freaking tariff crap. Let me ask you a question, okay? They make $1 billion off of their sales. Can't they make the 750 million and eat the freaking tariff if it's all going to go back to normal? So why not say to their CEOs, okay, we made 100 million billion this year. Is it okay if we eat we only profit 110 billion million this year?
Let me ask you this, Mike, and check this one out. When you look at a corporation, right, and you have these CEOs and these guys, the top 2% of the company, and they're taking $1 million bonuses every year. Now this company is in trouble. Do they stop taking all this big money, or do they fire the guy that cleans the toilets? Do they let the guy go to downstairs that works in the cafeteria? A couple of people that clean the toilets and stuff like that. Don't they lay those people off first?
Yeah, that's always the first people.
Pretty much.
They don't stop taking the money.
They take the manufacturing.
They don't stop taking the money.
Oh, we know.
Yeah, it just doesn't work like that. You know why, Mike?
Hold on.
Because
What are you arguing?
Don't get me started. Don't get me started.
You see, you started a fight at home.
That's what we're saying. That they shouldn't do that. That they shouldn't. It shouldn't work like that.
Bastards. That's right.
Big corporations is bullshit.
Yes.
Mike, don't get beat up, Mike.
Big corporations.
Mike,
What do I do?
don't get beat up on camera, Mike.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, dear. You're right.
No, big corporations.
I
They
support
should not do that.
I know. I said you're right. You win. Go.
No, I'm not yelling at you.
You're right.
I'm just saying to answer his question.
We agree. She agrees with you.
So what? It always worked that way. So let's just keep doing it. It's
No,
broken.
but we
Let's
can't change it.
I'm
Just
not
go with the
talking to
punches.
you. I'm talking to them. If it's broken and we just keep doing it broken, what sense
Yeah,
does
but that
make?
means I gotta stop buying it.
But if
I don't want to stop buying it.
Oh my God! You might actually have to
The only way this will
take a
change.
stand.
No, the
Don't
only
buy.
way this will stop is if we stop buying DJ. I can't go there. Stop. You're depressing me.
Then don't complain about it.
All right, no, I love
Mike,
you.
Mike, don't get two-pieced.
Don't buy any more.
Mike, roll with it, Mike.
Roll with it. Oh, roll with it.
Tuck and roll, tuck and roll.
Right. Don't stand there and wait for it. Try to move out of the way.
What they call it? Bob and weave? Bob and
Bob and
Get
weave.
your head out of the center line.
Oh, Bob. I don't know, Bob.
I see you touched the top, touched the touchy surf.
Yeah.
Good job,
I'm
Herman.
in trouble, guys.
Michael lives his life in trouble.
No, but
You okay, Mike?
saying my point is, when I looked at the price hike, I'm like, come on. Like $150 ain't enough for a freaking battery. Now it's got to cost $179.
Well,
Really?
check this out. The Mavic
Whatever
2
it is.
Pro. The Mavic 2 Pro went up in price $230.
Oh, that's crazy.
That's 15%. It went up $230.
It was already overpriced.
Yeah, well, you want to know why?
How much are the batteries now, Mike?
I don't know. How much are they? They're expensive.
200. You might as well round it off to $200.
I know that for the Phantom 4 Pro, we were already paying that kind of money for batteries.
No, I'm talking about the Mavic 2, which is mainly my.
Well, I get it. I'm just saying for the Phantom 4, you were already paying that kind of money.
Yeah,
And
160.
and the
Absolutely.
Spires, yeah, you were paying for each battery.
Yeah, we paid 160 for the Phantom 4 batteries. I don't know how much they are now.
I've got like 3 of them.
That's why.
But
It just gets me so mad because, and here's the thing. The thing, guys, listen, if you big CEOs, whoa, I don't have enough money. If you would just do one thing, you can make your company bigger. And this is all you got to do. Listen, everybody else is raising. This is what you do. You make a big statement. You make it. This is your publicity. It's free publicity. You go live on Philly Drone Life, live, and you tell the world, because, this is Apple, Tim Allen, what the hell his name is.
and the Schnauzaberries.
Yeah, you say this, you go, You know
On
what?
those
The
guys.
tariffs are coming. Everybody else raised their prices. But because we love our customers, we're going to eat it. And we're going to pass it because we love you guys. You made us who we are. We're keeping our prices the same. Everybody else is no good. We're the same. And then you do this one of them and you go to beaches this way. Nah. And you watch everybody that comes onto your freaking team because it's human nature to freaking like the nice guy.
You know
That's
what? I'll be honest with you. That may have happened if the drone was like the cell phone.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
It's not as accepted. It's not in as many hands.
Yeah, I get you.
Companies they're not gonna eat those tariffs. Not on the price of that drone.
Well, the sad part of it is, Michael, if you understand big business,
I don't.
You're not only against the guys that are running the companies, you're against all the thousands and thousands of stockholders that have invested their money in that business.
Yep.
And they want that coming back not only to them, but they
the
might
money.
be in portfolios with other retirees and other things.
Throw them all.
And
Absolutely.
they all are looking for the return on their investment.
And my point is, give nothing. I got nothing against return, CEO. I got nothing against your return. My problem is how much of a return. Instead of returning, so much so that I'm choked and I'm starving. How about just returning right so that I still can wet my little freaking whistle? That's all. So you still are rich. You're still sickening rich. But at least I look, I got a little morsel left. That's all I'm saying. That's all. That's my only argument. Come on, guys. What's it going to really hurt them? Their shit is marked up so many hundreds of times to begin with. Is really 10% going to kill them? No, they found an opportunity to hire their freaking places, to whack the freaking common guy, and they are doing it. And somebody said it here, I think. They're going to keep the prices the way they are. That's what they're going to do. Somebody on some show today, I heard it. And that's the freaking truth. I truly believe that. Because guess what? We're stupid, guys. And once we get used to paying it, we just keep paying it. Yep. And the only way to change it is to take a stand. But I'm not going to take this.
Hey, Mike.
Like my drone.
Hey, Mike.
But if you do it, I'll do it.
I used to smoke cigarettes, right?
Yeah.
I used to pay $2 and change for a cigarette.
Don't get into the
cigarettes when they said we're going to raise the price of cigarettes to $5. I said, man, I'm not paying no effing $5 for cigarettes. And I was right there at the store every freaking day, paying $5. They did the same thing with gas. Gas was going up to $5 a gallon. Guess what?
Yeah.
It's almost back there.
Yeah.
And at certain times of the year, it does hit $5 a gallon.
Yeah. No, but what I'm saying, what Mike is saying, and he's saying taking a stand, Mike, we can preach that and teach that till we all blue in the face. And let me fill you in on a lot of things that people have forgotten. If you remember years ago, you could boycott something.
Yes.
And it would actually work.
Yes.
Right? People have become unboycottable. And what people don't realize is this. If we said, let's take a stand, what'll happen is we'll all have these so-called leaders in this stand, and we'll all rush down there, and the leaders will meet with DJI and all these other companies of such.
Yeah, and then your leader's going to go like
leaders will come back after DJI gave them a job.
Right, yeah, that's right. That's what your leader did.
And then they'll be like, well, you know what? DJI ain't so bad, man. At least we flying.
Right. Look, we give you.
You know what I'm saying? DJI ain't so bad, bro.
Well, Michael, the other thing is we're all showing our age. You remember in 1995, you could buy a Chevy loaded out pickup truck for about $15,000 to $17,000.
Yep.
Don't go into the low for
Go buy a Chevy pickup today, and they're $45,000 to $60,000.
Oh yeah.
Why? Because you'll pay for it. But also,
That's
I
right.
got one for you. Why do you think gas went from $5 down to $2 and some change? Because they stopped making SUVs. They couldn't even sell an SUV when it was $5 a gallon.
Exactly.
Now Ford is
Everybody-
selling only SUVs except for the Mustang.
Yep. That's true.
That's
true.
And that's the auto industry controlling the fuel market, the oil industry. That's what that is. That's all part of it to keep making big trucks, big vehicles.
Once
And
again,
also, but
that's
here,
what I
I'm
mean
taking a
about
step
being
further.
unboycottable.
This is the bull.
Right.
This is the bull crap. Why does gas go up in the summer? It's the same amount. Why?
You consume it more. It always does.
You're using more.
Oh,
Well,
Even if
Michael,
you don't-
Michael,
even if you don't
people are
They
going to go
also-
vacation.
They also
this
tell
summer.
you that because of the EPA, they have to reformulate the fuel and add additives
Yes,
in summertime because of the heat and the effect.
That's
on-
what they told you.
exactly.
No,
That's
that they
what they
tell
told
you
me.
about. They have to reformulate, and there's a time. The EPA tells them the date, and they have to sell reformulated fuel from this time to this time. I don't agree with it, but that's what they tell them.
The frig
Al Diaz says they call it the summer blend there,
The summer blend. I love it.
or the rainbow mix.
Or the summer shafting.
Yep.
Yes, the summer shifting. Bend over, guys.
Summer
It's
shaft.
summer. Whoa.
But I mean, there's so many fingers in the pie and all of this stuff.
It's
It's
greedy.
like what Herman says. Where do you start? What?
Right.
Yeah, you got to do the boycott, man. We need
We
Yeah,
can't boycott anything anymore, man.
think anybody's going to fall. And
You
people
can't.
just accept it. They
Guys,
accept
who's
it.
going to
That's
put
why
down
you
their
say
drone
it.
right now that make us? You
Not
want to
me.
raise your? I'm not flying.
Me. Not me.
You see, there's always going to be somebody that's going.
Not me. I'm not.
Well, that's what happens.
At my age, it's
She's still fighting with me.
At
Stop,
my age,
Sharon.
it's one of the few things I like to do. And it's like my TVs, my collection of televisions. Hello?
Yeah, Paul's never heard a global woman.
I keep buying them all the time.
That's the
My,
one.
Yeah,
my-
you're some issues, man.
my collection of computers.
Did you get the new one yet, Paul?
Yeah, that's it right now. What do you think? How's it look?
I like it.
Not bad for $300 delivered 60-inch TV.
Where'd you get it at? Send me one. What is it? What's the make? Where did you get it?
It's a Hitachi 60-inch HD at 4K ultra television set
As
delivered
Martin,
to my house.
as Martin Lawrence would say
$300.
on television, it's a
Wow.
hachi-tachi.
Hitachi.
For $300?
Yep.
4K?
Yep.
60-inch?
Yep.
Is it smart?
Good.
Yeah, smart TV.
That's a smart TV.
Oh, I got
It's
it.
the Hitachi.
It's in Yatachi. Yeah.
It looks great, Paul.
Paul got that
Anyway.
on a good steal.
Well, it was on sale. That's why I bought it.
Yeah, the TVs have
And
gotten
when
cheap.
they were expensive,
Oh, why? I bought my first flat screen was a 55-inch, paid $1,800 for it, and was a plasma.
But you know what's funny? Let me tell you something. And this is a perfect example. Like, so TVs got cheaper, right? They're $299, $300. So you can get 60-inch flat, smart. So what do? Well, I'm used to paying $7,000 or $1,000. So I'll just get the QLED. You know, it's because we get so ingrained and so used to paying something, we don't even get the deal. We don't even take the deal most of the time because we're so ingrained, or at least it is in our house, that you got to pay more or else it's not good. It's not right. You got to
well,
be.
a lot of people are that way.
Al Diaz, thanks, but no thanks.
Right. You know, so you up it. But I personally
Why
want to.
doesn't Paul Murray host his own live show? He has the gear. You know why? Because some people are meant to just stand on the side and
That's it. That's me.
push you out on the stage.
Yep, that's right.
That's what Ed McMahon did to Johnny Carson. Before you saw Johnny Carson, who did you see? Ed McMahon. Okay. Who's the guy with the band leader on Channel 2?
Doc Severinsen.
David Letterman. David Letterman had the guy in the band. What?
Doc Severinsen.
Yes, exactly. That's who Paul is, Al. Right. Maybe in another and Jimmy Kimmel has Guillermo, or the Spanish guy.
Guillermo.
Right, Guillermo. See?
Big Al, listen. Every hand has a thumb. You know, we got 5 fingers and then there's a thumb. Paul Murray's the thumb. It's not a hand without the thumb.
There you go. That's the way to explain it.
He's the finger that closes the glove.
You need
it. You gotta have it. You gotta have it.
You go, guys. You go.
It stabilizes everything.
This, but
right.
You need a thumb, and that's where
also couldn't catch anything.
Yeah, look at you.
Big thumb.
Exactly. Without Paul, you wouldn't have the 5-finger slap.
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly. To go back to bed, I'm not kidding. This is enough now. I'll come off the show. You fired her up, guys.
Don't buy any more drones.
Hold on, Mike. About what part did she get enraged about?
Mike,
this guy right here is asking it. Lauren,
the one with the gray shirt on, or was
Mike,
it
in the chat, right? Right in the chat, in the Zoom chat, just put your address just in case I see you get knocked out the chair. I know where to
911.
When you fly into
But Mike, I will have to shut down this live stream if I see a frying pan bust you upside the head.
Headed for the kitchen right now.
They come from go on. They come from the world where their grandmothers threw the shoe like Eddie Murphy. They know about
Hey, Mike, explain to her because of CSI, she can't get away with it.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to explain to 911. He lives in the same area where Rocky was talking to the priest.
Yeah.
And in that same block. You can't miss
it. I know, right?
He's laid out in one of those houses.
Herman, do you remember the Rocky where he goes up and he talks to the lady, or he talks to the lady and then he walks through yo, father, I need a prayer. Yeah, that one. Yeah. That's my freaking church. That's right down.
That's his church.
That's my church. I fly around it. It's literally if I spit and the wind coming that way,
Mike, what's messed up is I remember when you saw your neighbors moving in that had the Buddha statue. I'd have to knock on their house and count how many houses away in that video so we could find the body.
Yeah. When they see me, there's 100 people live in that house. When they see me, they cross across the street. Like when I'm on the pavement, they walk down and I see it's the mother, the father, the sister, the brother, the thing.
You were over.
And then they walk down the street, and when they get to my property, they go. Is there something wrong with me? And I think they think I'm gonna rip out the camera and go, hey, so what did you doing today? Hey, where's freaking Buddha? Hey, we'd like to talk to the camera. You're new here. Hey, her.
Yeah, that's why.
That's why.
That's why.
You just showed the whole world the contents of their house.
I'm close. You're on YouTube. Hey, can I see your statue? What freaking Satan is it? Area?
That's why you're that guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's the one in the entire neighborhood that everybody knows who he is. And he's referred to as that guy.
That guy.
And they say it all the time. That's where that man lives.
That's where that man lives. You all know who that guy is.
You haven't noticed, Mike, you haven't noticed that when you come out on the street, there are people, and then by the time you're done flying, nobody's there.
Nobody's there. Oh yeah, they're gone. No, I noticed that.
They're trying to get away from that guy.
They don't even turn and drive down his street when he's out there.
Yeah.
I know, it's so true. Stop. It's not nice. Everybody
Hey, Mike, did you tell Sharon that Mia donated to your Inspired 2 fund?
Oh, you got an Inspired 2 fund?
He doesn't want to talk about that. Look at
he's like, Paul,
every time.
Can you see the sign language? Like,
Big Mike, what's up?
Keep it
like
quiet.
like deer in the headlights, isn't he?
Yeah,
Wow.
he's like,
Damn,
Paul,
right
change
here.
the subject, Paul.
You
Paul,
got big-
change the subject.
Big Mac
She
and
can
Big
still hear
Mac's
you.
house.
Yes, I'm gonna mute him. How do you mute him?
You
Oh, it's
can't.
not my show.
It's
I
not
can't.
your
Yeah, you
No,
gotta
you
be-
know, right. Herman
You can't throw
Herman
one of
has
us
it
under the
set up
bus.
so that we can't mute anybody.
Damn, oh, it's Herman's. Give me the power, Herman, please. I need the power. Give me a wrench. I need a wrench.
Well, Mia got on the other computer and sent Michael some money.
She did. She did.
Okay.
Sent me money for my new Inspire. She loves the Inspire, guys. She came with me on the the shoot the other day. She was freaking. I mean, come on, honey. She was turned on from the Inspire. I gotta say, she likes drones. But when the arms went, her jaw dropped. She couldn't believe it. I just want the thing to just do that. I can't.
Bro,
Cheaper that just
Just
does
go up and
this.
down.
Yeah,
You know what's
hang it
funny
from the
about that,
ceiling.
Mike? When
Yeah.
I first saw it, that's when around the time when they first came out. This guy at the airfield in the park had one. I was like, "What the hell is that?"
Yeah.
Hey, Al
Al
Diaz,
Diaz wants to sell me his. It don't need to fly, Al.
Mike,
Just have to do this.
Al Diaz says he'll sell you his.
Yeah, I need a good price on just that.
But he wants the Inspire too.
It's got to be the two. It's got to be that slick gray look because I want to wear it in a backpack like my boy Billy. I want to walk around with it too.
You gonna put the
Okay.
booties on it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, what? Who?
The little booties on it.
The booties. Yeah, I gotta have the booties. He don't use his booties. He don't use his freaking booties. How could you not use your booties, Billy? Use your freaking booties. You got an Inspire. He's got stickers on it. Who puts stickers on an Inspire, man?
You put a
Come
skin
on.
on it. I could see a skin on it.
Yeah. Oh, I thought I saw like a sticker, like that.
Problem. I would put a skin on an Inspire too.
Yeah, well, yeah, me too. But Billy's so low. He's got like 4 of them. He's rich. He's got 4 Inspires, 130 batteries. He gets a sticker in the mail, boom, slaps it on the Inspire. Who cares?
Hey,
But
Paul.
me, I that's all I want. That's
Hey,
it.
Paul. My other drone is on the bus on the way back from California.
Yours?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
It's on the
Yeah,
bus,
yeah,
it's on the
but-
bus ride on the way back from California.
Getting back to that
You,
subject.
you know what's so funny about that, Paul?
What?
You know, this never ceases to amaze me with DJI. I walked into a DJI store. At least that's what the sign on the wall said. the receipt and everything. And I purchased this drone. And out of the box, I noticed that problem with the camera. I sent it back to DJI. You should see the list of stuff they told me was wrong with it. Holy hell. The landing gear was cracked, they said. And they showed me a picture. Now I'm like, I didn't see that. Whose drone is this that you took this picture of? There was another battery failure that they found when they tested it. So I'm like, okay. They had to change the
brand new one, 4.
shell was cracked. And I'm like, well, how do you guys sell stuff like this out of the store? And they were like, well, it may have gotten damaged in transport to the store. I'm like,
Of course.
I'm like, really?
Well, the thing of it is that the stores for DJI are franchises.
Exactly.
And they don't want to say the guy screwed you, Herman. But
Right,
they
so-
took care of it, didn't they?
Yeah, they're making good on that.
I don't know how they're making good. Hold on. They're going to give you a refurbished one. Why not a brand new one? Give me a freaking brand new one like I bought. That's
Well,
big.
I got to see what they send back.
Well, I'm a little pissed because let me tell you something. I got something from DJI too. And thank God I got a backup Mavic 2 Pro. This is why everybody needs a backup. Because I got, and you're going to laugh, guys. You're going to laugh at this one and you're going to say, does it really matter? It matters. When you spend $2,000 for a drone, it matters.
Mhm.
I got a squeaky drone.
What's it talking to you or what?
It frickin' squeaks.
What do you mean it squeaks? What squeaks?
Weird, right? It squeaks. I got a quacky frickin' drone. When you open the arms, you hold it in your hand.
You're talking the Mavic 2, right?
Yeah, what the frick's up with that? It squeaks.
Well, how many folds in and out does that thing have? Is it rated for?
No, it's brand new. I just bought it.
Did you take it back?
Squeaks.
I would
I was after my frickin' 30 days.
Right. So now you have to deal with DJI.
Yes. And what am I supposed to say to them? My drone squeaks. Everything else is perfect. It squeaks.
The doors squeak when you open them.
Yep.
Yeah. You know, Herman, I sprayed it with WD-40 and not WD. No, hold on. I know what I'm doing.
Silicone, right?
Hold on, not WD-40. I got silicone. Now, hold on. And I got the little freaking thing, and I went into the arm. It was like surgery, guys. And I went in, and I found the spot where I think it's squeaking. And then I said, well, frig it. I'll do all 4 arms, you know, in the metal moment. And it stopped for about a minute. And then I figured after I fly it a few more times, it'll get in there, it'll loosen it up. It freaking squeaks.
Send it back.
Still squeaks. What? But everything else works perfect. But it's am I an idiot to send it back because it squeaks?
No,
because you don't know if that's
more. How long have you had it now?
I've had it for a month. July 4th, I bought it brand new.
How many times have you flown it?
How many flights are on it?
Let's say July 4th, July, August, September. It's 2 months. I'll bet you I flew it maybe 30 times, 40 times so far, 30 or 40 times.
Yeah, you're gonna have to
every single day, twice a day, and it's been maybe 60 times.
Yeah, you're in trouble.
Yeah, it's still under warranty though.
It's under warranty though.
Yeah, and I have refresh on it, guys. I do have refresh. But here's the thing. They're going to get me to try to, you know, like I ain't paying for freaking shit. You're sending me a squeaky freaking drone. It squeaks. So, you know, there's a couple options. I could take it apart and, you know, try to, but then why do that?
Take it apart and void your warranty.
I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, me neither. I think they over tightened the front 2 arms or did something. Something's just not.
Well, but it could be a manufacturing thing, but it also, Mike, could be they're more wrong with it than you think, because look at Herman. He sent it back because the camera twitches, and they found, 6 or 8 or other things wrong with the drone?
Yeah, like 4 more of the things wrong with it. So I'm like, wow.
Yeah, everything else is perfect. The only other thing I noticed with it, and this is the other thing that kind of tweaks me the wrong way. I fly a lot. I know my drones. I mean, we all know our drones, right? We know how they act. Well, on all my other Mavic Pros, the camera, you know, the Pro, it'll kind of just swing. When it falls, it hangs low, and then it swings either way. But for some reason, this particular drone always cocks the camera to this way. And no matter, I could push it this way, and it goes back to that way.
What's wrong with it then?
There's something wrong with that.
Now, soon as it should just now. If I push it to the middle, you know, eventually it'll stay. But if you just pick it up and put it down every single time, goes to that.
You send it back for a squeak and an
Yeah, no, for the that's what it's called.
That's what you do. You send it back for a bad camera and squeaky arms.
What do I say? The camera.
That they find wrong.
Camera alignment does not stay.
Okay, but it does when you turn it.
It only does if you force it to. When it does its, you know how it does its thing?
It stays perfect. Oh, right.
And then it goes off to the side. That's not perfect.
When the drone's not on, Paul, the drone's off.
You know what, too, Mike? DJI just seems not to be able to get it right at all times, whenever they feel like it.
Yes, whenever they feel like it.
I sent this drone in, right? And this is what they told me was wrong with it. And they sent back, they assessed the problem and sent me back one. Now, here's the thing. You sent me a survey right after that. I can't talk to anyone about why these things happen. You know, you just got some guy on the phone that has absolutely no product knowledge to tell me that this may have happened in transporting the drone from the factory to distribution, from distribution to their warehouse, from their warehouse to the store. This is what happened. That the drone, that drone, just going to get a crack here and a crack there and crack there and there, crack there. No, that thing, well, the battery issue, that left your factory that way.
Correct.
You know, it was never going to work. It was never going to work properly.
Yeah, so, and besides that, the part that I would be even more upset with, Herman, is the fact they sent you a survey before you ever got the damn thing back.
Right.
Because I'll get back with you after I get it and see if you fix the damn thing.
Surveys, they don't want to learn from surveys. It's just to try to keep the customer happy.
I'll tell you, DJI came out with that new headset for the racing drones. I know 3 people who have it and they love it. They said it's awesome.
You know what? It's good. I'm glad you brought that up because I'll tell you what. You know, I've been looking at FPV and it kind of gets me mad that, you know, a big craze is an FPV now. Well, I did this a year ago. I've told you this already. And then nobody was into it. Everybody was doing the camera stuff. So I kind of threw all my freaking drones away, not away, but threw them aside, threw all the parts aside, got all the, you know, and then I ripped out my camera stuff and here we go. And then now I'm fully into the camera. And what does everybody do? Now they want to go back. I'm old now. I don't want to learn anymore. I don't feel like, and I was all.
What are you doing, Paul?
Hey, Michael, Al Diaz in the comments, he said he'd sell you his.
I know, I'm looking.
$27.50. You pay shipping.
A good price. I'm asking what cameras it have with it. Exactly. Oh, it's the X4S. Wow, the Zemos X4S. That's a pretty good camera.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I got to think about this.
Yeah.
Hey, Big Al, send me some pictures in my email, and I want to think about that, buddy. I really do because.
Or call Michael. Talk to him.
Yeah, send me an email, and we'll get in touch with each other. I hate this is you're going to make me laugh too, but the refurbished thing. I don't know what it is, and I know they're fine, but I like new stuff.
I'm the same way.
Are you like that, Mr. Crowley? I like taking it out of a box, and then this way, if there's something wrong, I know it's only from me.
Hey, Michael, I got a question for you, Michael. Do you smell it for the new smell?
Stop! Alexa,
give me a second.
Stop!
Michael.
Stop, you son of a bitch! Stop!
What's Alexa doing?
Stop! I'll freaking kill you!
I got a box to open.
Oh, it's open time.
Hold on, we got a box to open.
Herman's got a new box to open.
I mean, look at I lost my voice.
Hey, what was Alexa doing?
Who? She attacks me every day, guys.
What, the Alexa?
Yes.
You catch a beating in that house, huh?
I get killed. If it ain't from one woman, it's the other, Herman.
You ought to put your address in the chat on Zoom because just in case, you know.
Yeah, and I think I'm going to turn Alexa into Alex. Yeah, because you can change the name, you know. This way, at least I got a guy hollering at me.
Lawrence, you know my headset went acting the fool.
Yeah.
Right.
So I had to call and get not call, but go to Amazon.
Oh, no. What did you buy?
A new headset for my cell phone.
Let me see what you got. That's what I'm looking for. Oh, Bluetooth, Jabra. Yeah. Dude, that's top of the line. Nothing but the best for this guy.
Why go second place when you can go first class?
Oh, I got something open too.
What you
got? What you got?
Let me see. I'll show it to you. Hold on.
He's gonna go get a box of Kleenexes. Oh, pretty nice.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, it's got a little bit more talk time than the last one. So I'll see how this one holds up.
Cool.
But Amazon is telling me I still got a warranty on the other one. I might have
Here's
to
Michael.
call this number.
Oh, look at Michael got.
Or he got it anyway.
He got it anyway.
I had it for 3 weeks. I still haven't opened it because
You've been hiding it under the bed.
huh?
You've been hiding it under the bed.
I have. Herman,
Sharon must have found it. Now he can open it.
Oh,
Well,
yeah. That's
here's
why
the
you got in
thing.
trouble?
I have. I snuck it on her card. She don't know I bought it yet. She don't.
Those guys.
He's going to tell.
You don't know I bought it yet. So, but here's the thing. If I open it, I got nothing else to open.
Okay, so hold on to it but you will be able to show us next week.
Yeah, next week, but look, I can show you the picture. Look at the picture.
No, next week you can show us the Inspired 2 you get from Al Diaz.
And that's what worries. See, if it isn't new, it doesn't come in the new packaging. If Al's willing to wrap it for me in original packaging,
I bet Al's got the original packaging.
we're gonna have to talk. We're gonna
You know
talk.
what's funny about that? I'm one of those kind of people.
You are?
Yeah, that if you bought something from me, more than likely I still have the original box.
Me too. Me too. Oh, dude, you look. Don't let me start getting my shit out. But here, let me get it out. The hell with it. I'm getting it out. I'm getting it out. Ready? Look at this, Herman. You're gonna laugh. My Mavic 2 Pro. Look, it's in the freaking thing. It's still got the wrapper on it. Look, the shiny shit. And every single thing inside. If you buy this from me, you're getting it like new condition with 290 flights on it. But it's coming brand new in the box.
You forgot to mention 1,000 miles.
Yeah, it's gonna have 290 flights on it. The battery's about 200 charges on that
I
battery.
still have the box for this.
You do. It's
Yeah.
brand new though. Look, the little tag. Look, the tag is still on it. Oh yeah. And Paulie's keeping his mouth shut. He's the same way. The same way. When he sent me the freaking thing, whenever he sent me the Enterprise, it had the original sticker on it, the little plastic that wraps around with the original piece of tape, guys. And he kept sticking it, re-sticking it.
Well, that's true, Paul. You are the same way because you sent me that charger and the original. You just opened the box, looked at it, and said, and closed it back.
That's it.
Well, in your case, yes, because I don't have a Mavic Pro. I got it by mistake, and instead of returning it, I just sent it to you.
But
Well,
here's how stupid I
she
am.
gets put to use. Trust me.
Good.
When we did the car show, Alexa,
He's
the
got
Echo
another
Dot.
Alexa.
No, this is the Alexa I got. Why keep the box?
And I want that bed clear.
Original box, huh?
Yeah, I don't know
Sometimes you
why.
gotta go
Why
back,
do
huh?
I can't throw it out, guys. I need help.
Hey, Mikey, Al Diaz says he got the stickers that go on the drone, that came on the drone.
Yep, he's got
He
everything.
Oh, he might have a sale now. He's got sticker. He got original sticker. I mean, yeah, you got to spend $3,000 when you got stickers.
Al
Come
says
on.
he saves all the boxes. His wife hates it.
I know. Look out. I hate her, but I kept the box. Why?
You know what's
And-
funny about that? When I got the cases for when I got the drone, I got the cases for the hard cases, and it says that it has a lifetime warranty. So I cut the ends of the box to open them all up, flattened it out, and slid the box right in the closet. Just in case that box is ever got to go back, I still got the case for it.
Lifetime warranty.
Lifetime warranty.
Same thing. That's what it's about, man.
I got sneakers that are like 15 years old, still in the box.
Do you? Yeah.
Wow.
Put them right back in the box.
See, I guess I'm the only one here that doesn't keep boxes.
I just wish my stuff was in a box. I have boxes of 2 drones. That's about it. Everything else I got rid of.
And I got cell phones that
I just have space things.
and the box still inside.
That is the only original box that I still have to my cell phone. I keep them because I usually, when I upgrade, I take them back with the box, and the guy says, we don't need the box and everything. And then I tell him, well, you're not going to sell it to someone in a third world country? You're going to need a box. You know? Because that's what they do with old tech. That's what they do with all of our old tech. From cell phones to grenades to landmines. They sell it to third world countries.
Well, what they do is they refurbish it. And the world of refurbishing is great because, you know, it's all in there. It's all
Herman, how do you refurbish a landmine once it's
you reset it.
What do they do?
Refurbish a landmine.
I don't know they refurbish everything. I was saying how they take our cell phones back, right? And they sell you another phone on a plan for $800 to $1,000, and then they take the phone that they made you trade in and they sell it to a third world country.
You know, Lawrence, speaking on that, honestly, what I'd like to do. Hello? Yeah. What I'd like to do is, you know, you'll watch the Super Bowl, right? Yeah. And there's no way in hell that they're printing up T-shirts for the winning team at halftime, or in the third quarter, or in the fourth quarter when the game we decided.
Right.
There's winning T-shirts and hats for both teams already printed.
Right.
I'd like to go to that country where they send those shirts and get one. Get one for both teams, right? And then bring it back.
Why? I'm not missing it. Why? I want.
What do they do with those shirts?
No, but I'm thinking I want a good deal on the losing team. Send me the losing team ones. Give me
those shirts. They buy clothing from by the pound.
Yeah, from rags.
El Salvador and down South America.
Yeah.
But you know what I found out happens with a lot of those type of things, Lawrence? Rag companies.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Rag companies are big.
Yeah, we used to buy rags by the pound.
Yeah. They used to call them wipers.
Our shop, we had that. We had the shitty rags and the good rags. And the rags were like clothes cut up.
Yeah. So you ever notice that certain kind of clothes never made the rag pile?
Yes. Yeah. Well, I thought if there were colors, you can't. I mean, I thought like color. You know,
well, it's kind of like there's no market for used condoms either. You know.
Yeah. You're right.
Oh man.
Let me ask you a question, guys. Since we can change the condom topic here. So how do you feel about cell phones? What do you think's the hottest cell phone right now? Because I know Apple's just released their new iPhone 11, and it's
got 3 cameras and this and that. I'm going to tell you. Well, I can't answer this because I'm not a follower. I don't own an iPhone and I don't own a Samsung. I have been with LG for over 10 years, and it's for a reason.
Okay,
it's my own personal reason, but I've always had an LG phone. And I've since the Optimum, before they had the G3 and the G2 and the G40 and the G50 and all those. And
all you had to say, you was not involved in the conversation, Lawrence.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what I have.
You're a smart man, Paul.
I am I'm a Samsung guy, but I'm also an Apple guy, simply because I fly DJI. And if you fly DJI, you got to have an iOS. It's as simple as that. And if
you're just like those people. You're just like those people on The Mummy. You saw The Mummy? The Imhotep.
Yeah, no.
Imhotep.
No. I'm not that bad. Hold on, let me finish. I don't care. I could care less about the Apple 11, but it looks nice and all. But they're always behind. What bothers me about Apple is they just never give it to you all. It's like, oh, we're gonna save that for the next one. The Samsung's already done it 5 times already. What
That's
are you saying?
Because they're buying the parts and the technology from someone else.
Whatever. I don't care. But come on, a fingerprint. You put a freaking finger.
That and it's a phone that's designed for elderly people.
Right. Yeah, that's the truth.
What is?
It's a phone designed for elderly people.
Which one?
iPhone.
Apple.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
Not
anyway,
just simple.
Yeah, my mother-in-law's got one, and my father-in-law's got them.
absolutely.
Plus, you own them with Apple. Apple won't never let you own it by yourself. No, Michael, you can't do that. This is what we're gonna do.
Yeah, this is how we're going to do it. No, that site. No.
No. Don't think for yourself.
I like
This is how you're
Samsung.
gonna
I
do
had
it.
Metro PCS that I
Do
got.
you know how many Apple owners would be crippled if they erase Siri?
Oh my God.
Well, it might become a phone after that.
Yeah,
Sole owner phone.
Mm-hmm.
What happened to Philly? Oh, there he is.
Here I am. No, I don't use
Siri
Siri.
got dragged out the seat.
Woo! So anyway, we went to my favorite store yesterday, Best Buy, to see if they had Inspire 2s, and they don't have Inspire 2s on the floor, So anyway,
I got to order it.
Yeah, you do. You got to go online. But anyway, so we started looking at the phones because I thought, well, I got to fly the drone. I need hands down, the best device to fly my drone with is right here. It's my freaking cell phone, my Note 9. It handles the app beautifully. It's brighter than my iPad, and it's just everything just works on it. Now, it's got some quirks, but it's small. So I started looking at the phones, and they got the Note 10 Plus 5G, which was 6.8 in size. It's got a processor that comes from Mars, and it's got 12, dude. This has 6 gigabytes of RAM in it, okay? And it handles the app wonderfully. Well, the Note 10 Plus 5G, gigantic thing, whatever, has 12 things of RAM. 12. It's a phone. 12. So anyway,
it just means when you put.
You bought it?
I freaking bought it.
It just means when you put the phone to your head, the microwaves fry it faster.
No, here's in Michael's mind, when he puts it to his head, he hears it caressing his cheek and giving him a kiss.
Right now, and because they didn't have the color I wanted, I gotta wait 5 days for it. So I'm gonna wait 5 days for it.
And you got it from Best Buy?
I got it from Best Buy. They're in on Best Buy from Verizon.
Funny. I like going to Best Buy for my phones, but I usually do it around Christmas time. I'll tell you why.
They give deals, right? Good deals?
No, listen to this guy. He does it all the time, every year. He's like, oh, time to go to Best Buy.
Talk family members into getting a cell phone for Christmas because I'm paying their damn bills anyway.
Right.
So what I do is I talk them into getting a cell phone. What happens is Best Buy always seems to have these stupid deals where they give you $200 or $300.
That's what I got.
Phone. Right. To get a new phone from them.
That's what I got, bro.
When I got that, I got the $300 gift check, and I saw it. Sitting in the account, I was like, wait a minute. That could be mine for $200.
Yeah. Dude, I got $500. I got $500 store crash. Listen to me, store cash. I got $200 back for the phone. No, not for the phone, for the deal that they were offering. And they gave me $340 something for this one. When I go to pick it up, I'm giving them which is smashed. The screen smashed. I dropped it a million times. But it still works. But they're giving me $340 something on a trade-in for that. So I said, yeah, they were asking me how I want it. Just give it to me all in store cash. So that'll sit in there. Now I'll have $500 and some odd dollars. Now she says you pay the bill with it, but no, you better pay the bill with it.
Right now, here comes
We're all the same, man.
Here comes the frying pan.
The hangman is coming in the room.
Or the shoe.
Hey, man, how you doing?
No, I'll be able to open this.
You're gonna see a shoe. You're gonna see a shoe come around them, around this side, and pop them right in the forehead.
No, she's on the YouTubes. She does the YouTubes too, and she's into the Pandora crap. Don't let me. I said that, but she's into the Pandora bracelets. She's got a collection that'll put any drone person's to shame. To shame. So this is our deal. When she buys Pandora, she tells me, "You shut up, because you know I match all your drones with whatever I spend in Pandora." So when we go to Pandora, I'm walking around like, oh, "That bead is beautiful, hon. It's you got to have that bead."
Because if she buys it, you can buy something.
Yes.
That's how it works.
That's how it works, isn't it? That don't work like that in your
You
family.
want to know what? It's funny you say that, Mike, because my wife used to be,
50.
"Oh, you're drone. But see, she likes backpacks. So we have a mutual agreement. I leave her alone with her backpacks, and she leaves me alone with my drones.
Right.
Now keep in mind, and I say, "Baby, I did this today with the drones." She goes, "Yeah, all right, whatever." You know, but we're both happy.
Same here. Yeah, she likes Vera Bradley, all that.
When was the last time she went and spent money at Pandora?
She went
Friday.
She went Friday. She spent $1,100.
Oh,
11. She dropped on a freaking stupid bracelet. What is
And it was probably one piece this big, right?
Dude, it's tiny.
This big, right?
And listen to this.
Drone are coming.
It's not even gold,
right?
guy. It's not even gold. It's not even gold.
No wonder you're looking at it and looking for
Inspire too. Yep, it's coming around the corner.
Oh man, that's a given. With accessories.
Yeah, but here's
we just got to get a credit card to put it on.
Here's what Lynn said.
Cash broke.
But here's what I can tell already.
Yeah.
Stopping Michael from doing it is that he's stopping himself.
Yeah, I am.
She's in the agreement, so okay, go ahead.
He's go buy it.
I can spend more.
I feel bad because, and you don't want to know why? You're gonna laugh. You're gonna laugh why I won't buy it.
Yes, I gotta hear.
Lightbridge.
Man, buy that thing, man, if you want it. Lightbridge works just fine.
I know it does. So what I did, I'm going against Paulie now. Screw Paul. I'm pretending he's not here. What I'm gonna do is I'm taking my Phantom 4 Pro out. From now on, I'm putting the Mavic 2s away, and I'm flying nothing but Lightbridge all week, just so I could get used to the flickering and the flashing. And we'll see.
What flickering are you talking about? I fly in one of the busiest cities in the world, and
You're
it flickers one time per battery.
What it is it's your brain have become accustomed to the flashing. You don't see it. When it's flashing, you blink at that point. But
you know what is so funny about
you hear this guy, Herman?
What's up, Lynn?
No, because Lightbridge is what brought them all to the yard.
I know. No, I'm not talking bad about it. I love Lightbridge.
And it's funny, what were guys doing before they were using Lightbridge?
You know, before they were using OcuSync.
It was just I can't go as far. I can't go to the end of the park. Go to the end of the park.
You know, the thing of it is that it's just a change in technology. It's like, what was man doing before?
Yes, but Paul,
before the automobile, they rode horses, you know?
But hold on, Paul.
Okay, Big Matt's giving me some good stuff. Okay,
but hold on a second. How long has it been since you were on that horse?
I sold all of my Lightbridge stuff a year ago.
Okay, but
I'm going to say this, and I've seen it, and guys are losing signal out here with OcuSync.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
You know, absolutely. So I
hold on now,
Herman. 99% of you've seen my flights are on the water, and it's high congestion. Probably a lot of electronics down there on the border, all kinds of stuff. So it might be just sensitive to that area.
The ship radio.
Yep. And so, but in my case, when I switched to OcuSync with the Mavic Pro and then to the Mavic 2 with OcuSync 2, all of those issues disappeared. So it's just related, I think, to the location I'm flying.
Yeah, you know, and listen, now Big Matt saying Inspire 2 has the Lightbridge 2 and it's not flickering. So I haven't flown Inspire 2s or a Lightbridge 2. I only have a Mavic 4. Is it the same as the Mavic 4 Pro version 1? If it's the same as the version 1, then I have the light, because I can switch from 5.8 to it doesn't auto switch though. I don't believe. No, it doesn't.
It
I have
should
to,
auto switch. It should auto switch on a Phantom 4 Pro.
it does.
Bridge, yes, mine does.
Well, Michael's talking here. Aren't you talking the Mavic, the original Mavic?
No, I'm talking the Phantom 4 Pro version 1. That's what you have, right, Lawrence?
Yes, version
Yeah,
1.
that
Yes,
switches automatically.
No, it does switch. It has
It switches
That's where that
automatically.
first feature came in at.
Or you can switch manually.
or you can switch manually.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
First done on the Phantom 4 Pro.
Yep.
Okay. And I now have an antenna this freaking big
All
that
of the
goes
things
on
that you enjoy on the Mavic, on that Mavic 2, those things were first featured on the Phantom 4 Pro.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm
Have
gonna
it?
huh?
It should be on yours too.
Yeah, I have it. I'm sure I haven't flown it in so long. I
Michael,
forget. I forget
Just
the
pull the
feature.
trigger. Just pull the trigger, Michael, and get the Mavic.
Yeah, get the
I mean, the Inspire 2,
get to it.
and fly it. If you don't like it, you can always sell it.
Oh, get the hell out of here. And I know it ain't getting sold. He's like, oh, you can always sell it. It ain't going nowhere.
Michael adopts for life.
Yes, Paul, I haven't opened my Osmo 3. And you think I'm gonna sell a freaking
Michael still got that camera too that you haven't taken out of the box.
No, yeah, I got the Osmo Pocket, the Osmo Action, and the Osmo 3, and none of them are open. But I need them.
Oh, good.
You don't think that's a problem?
One of these days,
Dude, I'm the same way. I love to buy stuff. I mean, I buy a drone when I want a drone, and like
Buying it to use it, get your wife back in the room to beat you.
When you-
know, right?
Herman
Where's
wants
she
to
coming
know
from?
Sharon.
gotta plan. Guys,
Well,
listen.
you gotta
gotta
use
plan.
it, man.
Even Big Matt
Round
says,
up
just
some
go
of that
ahead and
stuff
buy
and
it.
mail it.
Go ahead and buy it, or buy the one from
Box in the
Al Diaz.
way.
Buy Al Diaz's Inspire 2 and fly it, Michael.
He's not gonna fly it. It's gonna sit in the box, and his wife is gonna keep tripping over it.
Yeah, that's true. That's probably what's going to happen. Right next to the
And that's the problem is this.
It'll
And
be
then
flying
she's
the
gonna
Pro.
beat him.
It's huge. And
Yeah,
I
it's like
it.
bringing a small child into the home.
It is. But it's
Plus, you don't
also
have
the
to feed
part I
it.
like about it. It's also the part I like about it, the hugeness of it. But for the only, again, I fly right outside my house. Could you imagine me now, instead of coming out with this little freaking Mavic 2?
Your neighbors would be like, "Oh my God, Cheryl, he's got a helicopter."
Yeah, I know. Call the
The
police.
Inspires
You know what's gonna
are
happen,
much
right?
louder. Yes.
Yes, they
What's
are
gonna
a lot
happen,
louder.
right?
True.
Those people from down the block that you terrorized the first day they moved in, they're really gonna hate you now.
Yes, they're gonna think I'm spying when they see a camera like this on the end of it. Oh, he's looking inside our
Big
bedroom.
Matt says, "Buy it for him. He'll use it."
Lawrence, what do you use for goggles? For the FB?
Huh?
What do you use for goggles?
For goggles,
Yeah,
I got goggles.
a cheap set of EV 100s.
EV100s.
Yeah, I put a patch on it and a circular clover leaf.
Making me feel
I'm
bad.
good for up to 300 yards with no problem.
Nice.
Yeah.
Michael, you got a brand new cell phone coming. You're going to have to open that up and put it on the cell phone.
Yeah,
He's got all
exactly.
kinds of viewing equipment, and no, he's not viewing anything with it.
I know,
No,
right?
that's right. Because I got a plan, Herman. It's
Got a
come on, I'm not
plan.
that crazy. There's a master
Oh,
plan.
I'm sorry.
Hey, Mr.
I didn't know
Crowley.
that was
Hey,
See,
Mr.
what you need to do is learn how to edit.
Hey,
Put
Mr.
that
There
Crowley.
you go. He read it.
Camera on the dashboard of your car.
Hello, my goats.
Thinking about some Sky Zone 03s.
I heard the Sky Zones are
That's
excellent.
what I've been doing.
Yeah,
Watching videos.
I'm thinking about upgrading to that because the AM ways, the field of view is a little small, but the Sky Zone 03s are at like 30 or 32% field of view.
The
So,
Fat Sharks just put out a cheaper pair too to
The head plays.
yeah, but Fat Sharks, you got to buy modules. I don't have,
No. They just put out a new goggle, an economy goggle with the modules in.
The $300 pair. Yes.
Correct. Yeah.
Drone RC did a review on them.
Get the head
Yes.
plays.
What happened?
Get the head plays.
The head play.
Head play.
I don't know the head play.
Like sitting in an IMAX theater.
Yeah, they're the ones with the
The
big
big
screen.
box.
It's like a 3 by. It's a large
7-inch
screen.
screen.
They say you think you feel like you're in an IMAX theater, but they're
Well,
designed if you have glasses. If you
Just
have
get
glasses,
the,
you can put them on too.
Get the DJI goggles then.
No,
They're big. They're
No.
huge.
you know, DJI goggles. I can't. I don't. My pockets aren't that deep. If I'm
You
gonna
know what?
invest that much money in goggles, I'd rather get a pair of Sky Zones 03.
I
You know-
agree.
800 without.
You know
the
what I'm
controller.
quite interested
You can
in
use your own
seeing, Large?
controller.
What?
That new Skydio drone. I want to see what they're trying to do with that.
Yeah, the Skydio R2,
Yeah.
Isn't it
because-
like $3,000 or something?
the drone that's supposed to be able to follow you through, have forward,
Well,
backwards,
so
and
also-
side APAS.
Yeah, but they're also coming with it a little different now. They supposedly have a body style similar to like the Mavic, and that kind
Really?
that kind of a style is supposed to be coming with now.
I haven't seen any pictures of it. I've been looking. I've been seeing Skydio R2.
Well, this is
Skydio.
the things that's being said about it. You know,
What?
these are the things that's being said about it as far as drone DJ and these things. They've been talking that it's supposed to come out to compete with the Mavic Pro. So
Yes, they did say that.
who knows? Meaning that maybe you might have a controller for it this time.
Yeah, that's the only
Features.
thing that I didn't like about the first one.
Right. If they could throw the same features from the first one into a drone with a controller, forget about it.
Yeah. You guys have seen the Skydio from video, right?
But also, if you know, like, remember when we were at Tibbetts Brook, and I put the Phantom 4 Pro into tripod mode,
Yes.
it almost took the sticks out of my hand.
Okay. Well, yes, Al Diaz is right. It's Skydio is American made. If you haven't seen the video is right here. They're following a motorcycle on the motorcycle, and this thing has obstacle avoidance like no one would believe.
Well, like, you remember the argument on the roof, and your buddy,
Yeah.
he knew everything, and I was trying to explain to him that this technology is available now because it's already being used. It's just that what the company is willing to give you for the price point that
Right.
sell it. That was where Skydio went with that drone. For them to be able to give you a flying machine like what DJI does, for you to control it yourself and still have those kind of features,
Yeah.
price is going to be high. You just
Well,
can't.
I think personally that Skydio R2, if it's American made and with these tariffs, it may come off and make a little bit of money here. Because for one, it's Al Diaz says it's American made, so I believe it. But
It is American made.
the obstacle
But
avoidance.
Exxon and Mobil still has the most expensive gas in America.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, valid point. And if you figure if they see DJI is getting 2,000 for the Mavic 2, they're going to try for 3,000.
Well, it's the price point for what that technology is valued at the time.
Right. Like when flat screens came out, they were in the early $3,000 to $5,000.
Projection televisions.
Right, they were $3,000 to $5,000.
Now you
And
find
now
them on
those
the
same
side of the street.
right, but those same televisions that were $3,000 to $5,000 now.
Try 10 grand. Try
But that's the link there for the Skydio R1. The R2, like Herman says, is supposed to look or have similar features of the Mavic 2. We will see. I cannot find any pictures on the internet, so they're doing really good hiding these images, because I've done some pretty good detailed searches. I'm pretty good at finding information on the internet, and that Skydio, just I cannot. I'm doing it now. Skydio R2 images. If just looking on images, you'll see every other picture of every drone under the sun, but you will not see any images of that Skydio R2.
Well, Lawrence, we're coming up on 7:30.
Yeah, I got to get up at 4. Tomorrow's a long day for me. I'm not going to be home until about 7 or 8 tomorrow.
Well, I gotta go out there in the dark now and see about, I don't know, with these license plates with the car. I remember I told you I was having some issues.
Yeah.
I got to do some things.
Now, you can't hang, man.
Change some stickers and get some something to eat as well.
Hey, get back to work,
Just
Mike.
saying that they're out of here.
Thanks for stopping in. We appreciate you all.
Are we gonna do a drop or what?
I'm waiting on Philly.
Well, yeah. Hey, do you mind if I go on like next after these are done? You don't mind, do you?
I don't
What
mind.
are we? I don't care. I got to get up at 4 in the morning. So-
Okay. No, you
Herman
don't
will
have
get something to eat, and then Herman will come over to yours, Michael.
to. No, get the hell out of here. Go to sleep, Herman.
Oh, no, I got to go
All
to
right, go ahead. Do the drop, man.
You ready, guys?
Yep.
Let me get my mic ready. Hold on. Let me fix my voice.
Those guys.
Me.
Those guys. Those guys.
Okay, you ready?
Those guys. Okay.
Wednesday night with those guys are sponsored by.
Those guys.
I feel
That
like
was a good one.
those guys.
We appreciate you all, seriously, for the support. And oh yeah, by the way, Herman has been trying to get monetized, and at the last count, Herman needed about 1,500 watch minutes to become monetized. Well,
minutes.
as of his last count, he needs just over 1,000 watch minutes. So guys, we got to give him the support and watch his videos and come to the live streams so he can get monetized. And
Herman, do a daytime show.
I'm usually not here.
You just put your phone on at work. Take us to work, Herman.
Yeah, take people with you wherever you go.
8 hours right there. I'll sit. I'll watch.
I won't.
drone shots. Yeah, you can.
Mr. Crowley's too honest.
What did he say?
He
I watch
"I won't."
occasionally.
All right. I got to get out of here, guys.
Yeah,
Thank everybody in this-
everybody on the panel for sitting.
Lenny, I'll call you later, my dear.
I'm blessed. See you, Lynn. See you, everybody.
For stopping in and hanging out with those guys,
Mike, are you going on?
and everybody on the panel for hanging out.
You're good, guys.
And I'll see you next time on Phantom Flight 101 with those guys.